just released of Scarlet Hollow. It is a pretty heavy chapter at some points. Although this particular run shouldn't be as bad as most because of certain skills this character has. I will once again be running my Thembo. Oh, I thought, did I not replace the image? Let me check. I did not. I thought I did. Alright, I did in fact update. So, in the previous chapter, my character went through a fairly traumatizing, well, not just traumatizing, there's been lots of traumatizing events. This game is full of traumatizing, physically altering events. So, I had mentioned I was going to change up that character portrait, and I did make a new one. I just totally slipped my mind. I thought I had already updated it, but looks like I have not, so just give me a moment to remember where I saved it. This should be right. Yeah! There's those tired eyes. I would also have done gray streaks, but there was no way to do that with the picker, so at some point I might add them in myself, but that has not yet occurred. So, but yes, my poor Thembo has been aged up a bit. Let's see. So yeah, and also the content warnings for this chapter are, let's see, I will read the ones that I'm very sure apply to this run, which, so give me just a moment to pull up the, oh, and let me also just, so I have a command for this, which I will throw in, oh shoot. Let's try this. What? What do you mean unrecognized command, chat? I have stream elements right there. Am I doing it wrong? Yes, I was doing it wrong. Okay. Wow, I might have just forgotten how commands work. That's fine. We can manage this. Wow, sorry about this. Okay, so I believe what it is this. Yay! Success! Let me update the title so that the command is correct. So yes, so Scarlet Hollow is absolutely a horror game, and the content warnings will vary based on how you play. So for this chapter, there is child amputation, because there's a character who has not that will be occurring, but that has already occurred. There's absolutely body horror and realistic gore. I don't know, actually, we might avoid the realistic gore in this chapter with this run. There is definitely going to be animals in peril, disturbing imagery and situations. Probably stalking is going to come up. Let's see. Unreality happens a lot. Unreality is in that list twice. I should update that. Gaslighting, needles, fictitious disorder. So yeah, lots gonna happen this chapter. Oh, and also like death and murder and possession and some other shit. I mentioned body horror, right? Yes. Okay. So, with a ton of content warnings out of the way, and I totally understand if anyone is like, nope, out because of the content warnings, or like, I expect I'll have less folks in this stream, just because a lot of people, with the chapter having just come out, there's a lot of people who haven't played it yet, so I absolutely do not blame people for not wanting to get spoiled yet. But I hope people will watch the VOD. Alright, so I think I've been playing around. I've already played Thembo, aka Thembo. And yeah, episode 4 awaits. If you'd like to save before continuing, please do so now. I did so. Note, the decision you made in episode 3 bears heavy physical consequences, and that's the giving of my character's life to the ghost. And a visual reminder of those consequences will follow you for the rest of the game. You can reduce the intensity of this visual reminder or remove it entirely at any point in the preferences. Would you like to see a recap before starting episode 4? I don't see why not. Let's go. Full recap. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and seedy depots that felt unsafe, even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Pearl and Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. Go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. Powerful build, you heroically dive forward, tucking Gretchen under one arm and grabbing the flashlight with the other. Duke, I said aim the damn thing! Quick! Perfect. As it recoils, you plant a foot firmly in the ground and throw your body towards the abomination onto your right, your fist firmly connecting with a powerful haymaker. Its body feels wrong, as if your blow had just collided with a bag of loose organs instead of with a living creature. Oh, hi Johnny, I'm still doing the recap, so no worries, I've only just started. Now, I will say, I will totally understand if you want to avoid spoilers, but if you'd rather be forewarned and forearmed for this chapter, absolutely, I'd love to have you. But yeah, no, you have not missed a single thing for this chapter. I have not even fully started the chapter yet. We're still in the recap of, I decided to do a full recap, so this is still in the chapter 1 recapping. Yay. Alright, and the reason I've been running for so long is my starting soon screen was up for about 10 minutes because I was updating my content warnings command. Because I forgot to until I had already hit streaming. Yeah, alright, anyway, simple. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Stella lies beside you, and the two of you settle into a comfortable silence in the darkened room, her heartbeat and the gentle moan of the Appalachian wind deafening in the otherwise quiet atmosphere. With her beside you, the events of the evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and you're warm. Tabitha. From now on, you're back at the estate by bedtime. No more impromptu sleepovers. Avery. Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. I'm gonna keep my ears open for you. The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything else strange or unusual. Oscar. Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she hasn't been answering my texts, and I want to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out? Stella. Nothing strenuous, we promise. Dr. Kelly. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now, anyway. Wait. Oh, I was thinking about trying to find like a voice changer for this, but I haven't yet. Although, let me just check something. not sure I'm willing to pay for it. But, like, gosh, I would like it. And I didn't get it set up, which is a shame because there's definitely going to be some voice acting stuff later in this chapter that's going to be excitingly challenging for me to do without damage to my voice. But yeah, so let me try this.
Stay home. Wait for the week to end. Don't keep putting yourself in the path of danger. This is all I ask.
Actually, you know, instead of leaning forward next time, maybe I'll just pick up the whole mic. But let me know if that makes weird sounds, because I just tried it. You're interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of a hill. Kanika. She didn't. Stella. I guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. Kanika. But the Shaw mine? That place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. You pull out your phone and dial your cousin. Tabitha. What is it? You know I'm in a meeting. Quinn. Oh, hello, Thembo! I'm still doing the previous chapter recap because I thought it was a good thing to do at the beginning of chapter 4. Yeah, absolutely. Quinn. A kid just snuck into the Shaw mine? I figured you should know. Tabitha. What? Are you serious? Why do things keep happening to me? Ugh, whatever. I'll head over there as soon as I can. Just stay where you are and wait for me, alright? God, I don't even know why I'm trying to reason with you. It's not like you'll listen. Becca. My dad is a foreman at the continuous mining facility, and he says they only abandoned this mine because there wasn't enough coal left. So it's actually really safe and we can hang out here whenever we want. Tabitha. Correction. Your father was a foreman at the continuous mining facility. We'll see if he even has a job tomorrow morning. Rosalina. My dad says our house is haunted. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. Kanika. Wait a second, where did 3 of you run off to? Are you kidding me? There is something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. But you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator. Tabitha. What do you think you're doing? Get away from there! Your cousin dives towards you, but not before the light of your flashlight illuminates the whatever. It always goes by too fast. Stella. Quinn, are you alright? Oh, T'Pau, do you see my, little Thembo portrait here with the tired eyes? I updated it to account for the, choice at the end of chapter 3. Rosalina. Wait! Becca and Alexis are still down there. You can't just leave them here. I know which way they were going. They'll listen to you this time, I promise. Your surroundings quake as the mine collapses around you. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the dark road. You collapse in Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the shop, bare feet the dust. When you close your eyes, you see Rosalina's face, twisted with pain, staring up at you with tear-streaked cheeks. Trapped by powers beyond her control, terrified of what her now uncertain future will hold. And finally, the chapter 3 recap, which is kind of new. Oh, oops! And then I just clicked on it. Like you do. All right. So, as you're ready to leave, Jenny approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the two of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Jamie. Oh, Quinn, before you go, I think she just has you know what, I think she just has this accent. This is the accent I keep wanting to give her, so it's the accent I'm gonna give her. I heard about what happened last night. I mean, I heard about it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just want to say that I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. I'll be praying for Oscar and Porter
buddy.
So, of course, Quinn, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will be just a minute. Alright, I know that there's like something spooky look, but it's... Maybe I can do this light instead of this. Because I have different settings, so here, this one is slightly ominous, so we'll keep that. Or slightly redder, I guess. Duke. Well, powerful build. You've never seen the man beside Duke before, but whoever he is, he's big. Duke. If it ain't Quinn, Bo, this is Miss Scarlet's cousin. They were there with Stella that night in the woods. Bo. It's a pleasure to meet you, Quinn. My name is Bo. I'm Duke's boy. Duke. Hope you've been faring better since all that unpleasantness. Stella. And with that, breakfast is served. He's a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man who prospects them. Strange man. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Quinn? Everybody's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd ever like to discuss your beliefs, my door is always open. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edge, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their prey. Kanika. Your mom is so scary. Reese. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. Haven't been cleaning much. Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervous and talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense, his shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. Reese. So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week while Quinn is still in town? Dr. Kelly. We'll have to see how you're feeling. Reese. I can handle a movie, Doc. Stella. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay. Dr. Kelly. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. Reese. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. Oh, thank you, Takao. I have, sorry, I just checked the chat. I'm going to turn down the volume a little because Takao says it's a little loud. Let's try it here. Let me know if it still gets overwhelming, but hopefully that'll be better mixing. And I do have the chapters for, I have some of the chapter 4 specific content warnings. I lost track of, or not lost track of, I ran out of room to write them all, so I just wrote the ones that apply to multiple chapters and or that are like really major that I anticipate coming up. There are a couple I'm like, no, that's also pretty major, but I ran out of room, so I also just linked the site that has all the content warnings. Oh, no, I mean, that's fine. So here's what I have. I think it's a pretty solid overview, and I also went over it at the beginning of the stream. And I skipped a couple because they aren't going to come up in my run, so. Reese. So, yes, alright, sorry, back to the game. Reese. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my mom just to have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Dr. Kelly. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix... Silences Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Stella. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. Oscar. Hey, you're just in time. Rosalind is situated in the back room. Alexis is gonna keep her company while we hopefully get this all sorted out. Avery. Hey, hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff? Oscar and Kanika startle as the door swings open. Tabitha. Seems I made it just in time. Let's get this show on the road. I don't have all night. Okay, I was gonna, like, leave my light off, but it's, like, hurting my eyes. So... And you know what? I don't feel like I need the spooky effect. I already have sepia tone on my video thing, and I'm like, I'm good. I already spent a lot of time dwelling after I played this last night. Anyway, Stella. Whoa. Oscar. This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain. Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch, the floor around it stained in reddish-brown. Stella. I'm going for it. Tabitha. Wait, do you hear music? Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention. Tabitha. Stella? Wait.
There you are. I would have found you sooner, but the Resonant clearly doesn't want me here. It doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they?
Oscar. The sins of the father, Rosalina, are to be laid upon the children. Kanika. One of you must forfeit. It doesn't matter which. Tabitha. Bullshit! Sybil. I hope I didn't come too late. It wants something, doesn't it? And I think you know which of you should volunteer. Tabitha. You must be joking! You take a step towards the light. Tabitha. Sybil is right here! Please don't do this! You wordlessly step into the spotlight. Stella. I'm so sorry, Quinn. I don't think I can talk right now. I'll call you, okay? She hurries off down the road. Sybil. Before I go... Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back for a moment. Sybil. I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight, about what's happened to you. But let's not get into it here. I think everyone could use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea room sometime tomorrow, say, early afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Quinn. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. Before your thoughts can drift away to nightmarish recollections of hours past, your phone buzzes on the nightstand. Stella. Hey, sorry I ran off earlier. Wound up in a really bad headspace. I care about you so much. So sorry you got hurt in there. I just need some time to get a handle on things. Sorry. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. has been put to rest at the expense of unknown years of your life. The specter of the night's events will linger over you for every day you have left, a grim reminder of the price you willingly paid for the crimes of a family you never met. Maybe it'll be easier in the morning. Maybe your joints will ache just a little less than they do now. Maybe you can still right the capsized ship of your now broken life. Or maybe things will only get worse from here. Alright, time to wake up and start chapter 4. Finally. For reals this time, at long last. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Oh, I forgot, in my settings, I have it set to reduced because I was playing on another run. But yeah, no, we're going to try it at full. So the effect, I'm going to try to leave the effects at full for this whole chapter. And then I think for the next chapter, I will set them to reduced. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get through the, because I don't like that effect. It's kind of, it messes with the artwork to me, but like, I do feel like it also really kind of emphasizes, I mean, I know I also have the character portrait here with the sunken eyes, but... So yeah, you open your eyes, it's a new day, and you feel like shit. You were hoping some of your strength would return to you after a good night's sleep, but you feel just as drained as when you dug yourself out of that shallow grave. Your limbs are heavy, and your heart struggles to keep up with your movements. You feel like you've lost something that was important to you. Powerful build. Your thoughts drift to the countless hours you've spent pushing your body to its physical limits. It's as though the peak of a mountain you've been climbing your entire life has been sawn off, leaving you to contemplate a disappointing plateau. Oh, there's a whole bunch of options, and I know which one my Thembo was choosing. I don't care what happens to me. I made the right decision, and I'll do it again. Yes, you did what had to be done. Who knows what would have happened had you left that ghost behind to fester? An involuntary shudder runs down your spine. But your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Kanika. Hey, just wanted to check in. Hope you're doing okay. Heart emoji. Also, wanted to ask if you've heard from Stella? You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. You dial Stella. Stella. Hey, what's up? Haha, just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now, but this is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Anyway, leave a message. Or don't. I never check this thing. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Alright. Okay, so I'm definitely texting Stella. I do like morning hot stuff, but at the same time that feels a little too dismissive, even for, like, you know, pure, like, dumb of ass is only one aspect of the Thembo issue. Pure of heart is also one. So, kind of worried is an option, but honestly... So, a little, like, you know, morning hot stuff seems, like, too dismissive, but I like how's my favorite cryptid hunter, because it's, like, asking how they are, but also being a little oblivious to, like, how bad it could potentially be. So that's what we're doing. Quinn texts, how's my favorite cryptid hunter? You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. So I will text Kanika back with, she messaged me last night. I think she's okay! Kanika. Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad at least someone's heard from her. But I'm still kind of worried. It's a little odd for her to just dip with everything going on. I think we should look for her. Let's meet up in town, okay? Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Step 1, take a shower. You might as well take a shower before starting the rest of your day. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. The hot water soothes your aching joints. Despite the state of the bathroom, this shower is a good place. As it rinses your body clean, You know what? Last time I did my mind as a blank slate, I think about nothing, but this time I want to be like, think about someone special. Specifically, you think about Stella, your intrepid cryptid hunting companion, and everything the two of you have been through since you got to town. Hopefully she's okay. And, yeah, hopefully she's okay, and Kanika's just being overprotective. Because I, like, super want to go romance, like, you know, I've been building up to Stella romance this whole time, and this is the chapter where you get to actually start locking in romances and starting on the romance paths. So I want to hopefully get that with Stella, you know, initiate romance with Stella. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Let's check the closet. You make your way to the closet. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. It's time to face your cousin. You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. Tabitha. They weren't bluffing after all. They're actually striking. And this week, of all weeks, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. I had time to make some arrangements last night, so at least the mine could keep running on a skeletal crew while I sort this out. Thanks for telling me. I think I'm gonna start with, have you heard anything? So, Quinn. Have you heard anything from Stella? I still can't get a hold of her. Tabitha. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. Let's talk about what happened last night. I can't decide. I mean, I'm really kind of tempted to be like, feels good, doesn't it? Getting rid of something our family left behind like that? But actually, I think that feels a weird to me, so I'm gonna go with, so, ghosts are real. I still can't get over that. Tabitha. I can. What does that actually change about anything? You're a Scarlet, you were probably going to die young anyways, and I still have a mind to run. Alright, well, let's try this, see what happens, I guess. Quinn. It feels good, doesn't it? Getting rid of something our family left behind like that. Tabitha. I can't believe you're saying that. Have you looked in a mirror? I think that Quinn is a little overwhelmed by the idea of the strike and isn't sure who to support because their, like, people instincts are like, but Tabitha's my cousin and I should be supportive. But their other people instincts are like, but the workers something unions, I don't know. So I think I'm gonna go with Quinn doesn't really get strikes enough to feel, like, comfortable weighing in. So, remain silent. But only because I don't want to rush Tabitha out the door. Tabitha. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get into trouble, okay? Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Step 1, fuel up with a quick PB&J. If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. And who knows just how much your new affliction will affect your appetite. You make yourself a PB&J in anticipation of the long day ahead of you. And that's that. Time to head to town. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. The birds sound different today, muffled like your ears are full of cotton. The dull sun shines down on the surrounding wilderness, seeming to wash the color from the world. Oh, and also, let's play the fun game of Spot the Ditchlings! There's one there, there's two there, there's one here, there's one here, there's one there, and there. I think that's all of them for now. But you're adjusting. Already, your body is starting to accept the change that has come over it, to accept that this is how things will be from here on out. You can't help but feel countless eyes watching you from the tree line, a feeling that reminds you of your time in the woods with Stella. Ditchlings shouldn't be out in the middle of the day, though. They're getting bolder. To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path towards you. Avery. Hey, I was just coming up to see you. Hope you were able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. They don't say anything about your appearance, but you can see them take you in, the light of day revealing your new features clearly for the first time. Hot. They smile. Clearly, they like what they see. Avery. You doing okay? And I'm going with this because I saw this somewhere else, but, like, I'm going with the hot option here because it's wonderful. Quinn. The ghost may have stolen my youthful good looks, but it couldn't take my hotness. My bone structure could never be laid low by mere aging. Avery. You got that right. What doesn't kill you makes you hotter, right? But I'm not romancing Avery this round, so we won't do any of the other flirting. Just be friendly. There's ditchlings. Alright, so let's go with this. Quinn. There's ditchlings everywhere now, even though it's daytime. Avery turns to survey the tree line. Avery. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny now that I'm getting a good look at them. With their scrunched up little Shar-Pei faces. So, should I be worried about these things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but, like, are they dangerous? They're not gonna eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? Yes! Powerful builds. Quinn. They're not a big deal. Just hit him with a stick or something. I punched one and left an imprint of my fist in its face. Wayne stepped on one and it exploded. They're not very threatening. Avery. Maybe they're not threatening to you. You're kind of ripped. And that Wayne guy, I mean, he's not human, right? Still, if you're not worried, I won't worry either. I'll just be sure to keep my eyes out for a stick, I guess. Alright. Avery, how are you doing? Alright. Today, so Quinn says, are you doing okay after last night? Avery, I'm great. With something like possession, I kind of feel like there are more upsides than downsides. There aren't a lot of people out there who can say they've been through something like that. It's a pretty cool badge of honor as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we also, by choosing the powerful build option, we skip over the part where Avery's like, yeah, maybe it would be kind of interesting to have ditchlings, like, attempt to like, attach parasitic larvae to me. Maybe I could hatch my own weird little dude. Just so people are aware of how weird Avery turns out to be. But yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, as soon as he's like, it could be fun to have your very own weird little dude, I was like, oh no, I relate a little bit. Not that I'd ever want that, but like, adopting a ditchling and making it my weird little dude sounds weirdly appealing to me. Alright, Quinn, let's head to town. Avery, yeah, good idea. You and Avery start back down the path to town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Kanika. Quinn, you made it! And you picked up an Avery along the way. I hope you're both doing okay, like, emotionally. Avery. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Kanika. That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack, totally exhausted, and super foggy. Mom has been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it, but as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering the ridiculously stressful week we've all had. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from looking for Stella. Avery. Wait, Stella's missing? Oh, whoops, did I forget to tell him? Yeah, sure, we'll just roll with Thembo energy. Whoopsie-doo. Kanika. Yeah, I thought Quinn would have already told you. Neither of us has been able to get hold of her since last night. Avery. Oh shit, I hope she's okay. Alright, we're still skipping the flirt. I don't feel like Quinn would feel the need to push on this one, or this one, but this one, sure. Quinn. I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. Kanika. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune. Avery. After last night, I wouldn't doubt that she actually could. Your mom's always had a bit of that Glinda vibe going for her. Kanika. Yeah, maybe I should stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic thing. A lot's happened in the past couple days. Ugh, I need to take a page out of Stella's book and just block this shit out. I need to be focused. I can't keep having all of these existential crises. There will be plenty of time for tea after we found Stella. Alright. Yeah, no. I'm gonna just go straight with Quinn. Let's not dawdle. I'm worried about Stella, and it doesn't feel right to not be doing anything that isn't actively looking for her. Kanika. Agreed. let's get to work. Where to first? I think the obvious is to go to Stella's house. Wait, okay, let's go to Stella's house. Avery. Good place to start. Maybe she just slept in. Kadika. That's what I'm hoping. I would have gone already, but, I was kind of nervous about doing anything by myself today. Just in case I ran into yet another horror from beyond the veil or whatever. You make your way towards Stella's house. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. Powerful build. Your protective instincts set in, and the muscles in your arms tighten, your shoulders straightening. If danger lurks ahead, you're ready for it. For the life of you, you can't remember if Stella closed the door behind her when the two of you left for the library yesterday morning. Oh no! I mean, this is probably what I'll say, but like... She's dead! Stella died and it's all my fault! Is a good one, and maybe something that the Thembo person would be fretting about, so maybe I'll do that one. The other one I like is, we ate breakfast here together yesterday morning, but I can't remember if she closed the door. She must have, right? Those are both good options. I think maybe I will not be overdramatic, and I will instead be like, did she close the door? Because that also feels like it's got good Thembo energy. So, Quinn. We had breakfast together yesterday morning and left together, but I can't remember if she closed the door. She must have, right? Kanika. It's okay. Don't worry about trying to remember. Hopefully we'll be able to clear up who left the door open when we walk in and see Stella alive and well and just not answering her phone for some reason. Avery. Could be she came home last night and forgot to close it all the way. Happens to the best of us. Or Kanika. Or maybe she couldn't close it because something happened to her before she had the chance. Ugh, I need to stop working myself up over nothing. It's just a door. It doesn't mean anything. Avery. Might as well invite ourselves in, right? Enter Stella's house. You take a step forward and cross the threshold into Stella's house. The living room is almost exactly as you saw it the other day. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Avery. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room. Or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. Kanika. You didn't have to add that last part! I'm going to forget that you just said that and just be thankful that this doesn't look like a crime scene. Alright, let's investigate the kitchen. Stella's kitchen is messier than she left it yesterday. A couple cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. Yeah, we'll go with... Okay, Quinn. Someone was here after Stella and I left yesterday. We didn't leave the kitchen like this. Avery. So, what? Do you think someone rummaged through this kitchen? Kanika. She might have just come home last night. Or she might have... No, she must. Sorry, that's why something felt like I was reading it wrong. Kanika. She must have come home last night. Why would anyone else leave the living room in one piece just to trash the kitchen? Avery. I mean, the town's surrounded by monsters. Maybe they got hungry. Kanika. Or maybe she came home last night, had a snack, and didn't feel like putting things away. Avery. I feel that, but then that leaves us with another question. If she came home last night, where did she go? And why did she leave? Kanika. And why haven't we been able to reach her? Alright, let's check out her room. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. I was going back and forth on if my Thembo character would check her computer. And I think maybe this is the most morally good aligned character I have, who has maybe a little bit of paladin energy, unless they're kind of in a state where they just don't think about something, like where they're just being thoughtless. So yeah, you know what, I'm gonna say this. Quinn, I love seeing someone's room before they've had a chance to clean it up for company. It's a neat little snapshot, you know? Kanika. Speak for yourself. If the roles were reversed and I was missing and you and Stella were poking around in my room unannounced, I'd be completely mortified. Avery. Spoken like someone with a whole lot of secrets. My room is immaculate. A guest could drop by unannounced at 2 a.m. and I wouldn't sweat a thing. Kanika. Congratulations on having your shit together. Avery. Thank you. I come by it honest. Kanika. I will say that this is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. Avery. It could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we found her. Kanika. Aw, she still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Yay, corkboard and string. Quinn. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find much else here. Let's move on. Avery. Okay, so she probably came home last night, but she's not here now, and we don't have any idea where she might have gone. Kanika. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I hoped she would just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. Avery. We'll find her. Kanika. Where to next? Let's check out the diner. Quinn. Let's check out the diner. Kanika. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. Avery. Here's hoping Winnie doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early. Alright, I'm actually going to be right back. Oh wait, actually, sorry, I won't be right back yet because I just saw T'Pau's text. This character got a text from Stella at the end of chapter 3. It's not because of the hot trait, it's because I've been really actively flirting with her. So it's like we were close enough. That's, at least I think, it was more that we were close enough that she wanted to let my character know that something was up and like that she was more or less okay. She wanted to check in. She cared enough about my character to check in. Oh, that's fair. I will say, T'Pau, being hot makes flirting way easier. So it may be like, there may be something like romance points you have to stack up. Like, I had another run where I was trying to romance Avery, and I didn't get the option to start a romance path with them. But then earlier today, I was running a different run with, like, hot and talk to animals just on my own, which has a couple of interesting things, by the way. Come back to that another time. Certain, like, that character, I just decided, heck with it, I haven't done any characters that have romanced Oscar, I'm gonna romance Oscar. And then I flirted with him every chance I could because hot. And then it was like super easy to get the romance option with him. So like, so far that is the only one I've seen. I expect this chapter I'll be able to get Stella's because again, hot makes it very easy to flirt and very easy to rise your get your romance points up, which matches with reality, let's be real. Yeah, and I do like that there's always options to flirt with the bad guys. And by I mean, I just think it's funny. Okay, actually, I'm going to go a little further so that there's more background sound, because right now it doesn't look like there's, like, any background noise. So before I pause, I will let new music start playing at least. So yeah. Alright. It feels like you've walked into a private meeting. The back booth is full of minors, and they're having what seems to be an intense discussion. Their expressions gravely serious. There we go. Here is some... Oh yeah, T'Pau, it's super worth redoing a Mystic runs. There's so much more Mystic. Like, that has been significantly overhauled. I look forward to, like, I've decided there aren't quite enough changes in Chapter 1 to warrant redoing Silent Max Chapter 1 for a third time. But, like, when I get back to that character's run, I will absolutely be interested to go through all the new mystical stuff with folks in Chapter 2 and 3. So it feels very worth replaying that character for sure. And now that there is noise in the background, I will actually be right back. Oh, they changed the ending you got. That's interesting to how. But no, seriously, we'll be right back. Should be just a couple minutes, but we'll be back soon. But we'll BRB. Alright, I returned, fortified by a small snack. I was just really, really hungry. Alright, so we have arrived to find some miners chatting in the background of the diner. Kanika, what's going on? Avery, there's a strike up at the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. Winnie. Alright, so I think I should try to do a southern accent, at least for Winnie. I feel like it makes some sense to not do one for Avery since they were from the city, and, like, city folk are somewhat less like, you know, people who... Depends, you know, city folk are toss up if they'll have the local accent or not. But at some point, Winnie mentions the wrath of a southern woman, so let me see if I can do this. Winnie, when you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd be showing up with friends. Avery, sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing, and I've been helping these two track her down. You haven't seen her, have you? Winnie, don't you apologize now, and I can't say I have. Should I be worried about her? Kanika, I hope not. We're not interrupting anything here, are we? Winnie, of course not. Any paying customer is welcome, long as you aren't about to step on anybody's toes or cause a fuss. The miners in the back were too engaged in conversation to notice you enter, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. Harrison, sure, the shift schedules are tough, and sure, we don't get enough time off for me to see my family as often as I'd like, but this is the best job I can get right now. Zax, listen, kid, you're only a year or so into this gig. Trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first, you're just unhappy, but you think you can weather it till you find it something better. A paycheck's a paycheck, I get it. But the next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers, and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Harrison, Zax, we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. My sister needs the paycheck. I'm the only reason she can afford her tuition right now. I can't get fired. And this job still has perks, like the company housing. I can't afford my own place and send money back home. I don't know where I would live if I didn't have this job. Zax, right. The company housing. How generous of the big boss to put you up in company-owned shack that ain't had proper maintenance done in decades. You know she uses that housing as an excuse to pay us less. And the company housing, that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. It's why the Scarlets can keep getting away with whatever they want. Baker, Zax, we don't have the numbers, man. You know this is risky. Riskier than most of us can afford. You know, the interesting thing here? I don't know what's different, but I played a different run last night, where, like, all the miners were in on it. Like, everybody was, like, the diner was packed. Like, they definitely had numbers on their side. And that was actually the first thing I noticed when we came into the diner on this run. I was like, wow, there's so few of them. You know what it is? I made a different choice in chapter 2. That's probably it. I remember reading somewhere that it's like, because I went back to save the kids and Tabitha was with me, so everybody probably heard about how she ran back into the collapsing mine to help save some kids. Even if it was more to, like, cover my character, like, people don't necessarily know that. They just know that she did something pretty heroic. So, yeah, so we're both kind of heroes of the town right now, which means people aren't really as interested in striking. Which in some ways I think is for the best, because I'm just like, absolutely, y'all should unionize, but, like, maybe wait until after the funeral to go on strike. Like, woman just lost her mother. Just wait, like, a week. Anyway, Zax. We would have the numbers if y'all would stand with me and not let management's scare tactics get to you. Baker. Oh, and here, they were about to explain it before I cut off and chatted. Guess I should have just keep going. Baker. It's not just the scare tactics. People like her now. That woman ran into a collapsing coal mine and saved 3 children from being buried alive. I feel you. I really do, but how are we supposed to organize a strike against a town hero? Zax. Are you trying to tell me that a mine collapsed in less than 2 days ago is why you don't want to strike? Baker. It's a bad time, Zax. Zax. It's always a bad time, Baker. It doesn't matter whose name is on the deed for the place. Without us, there is no mine. We've got them against the ropes. We can't back down now or they'll come out swinging. I am a little tempted with this. Are none of you going to comment on how I'm old now? A ghost stole years of my life last night. But I really do not think that does not have Thembo energy to me. I think Quinn is just going to be like, Quinn, hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. Harrison. The YouTuber? Baker. We ain't seen her. Harrison's voice drops to an audible, barely audible mumble. Harrison. I hope she's okay. I don't know if I want to weigh in on Baker and Harrison's situation as this character. I think I'm going to look at the options real quick. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to stick with it is outside of Quinn's, it is so outside of Quinn's expertise or like, understanding that they're just, and they also want to be friends with their cousin, but they want to be friends with the townsfolk, and they're just like, I'm just going to stay out of this one. Which I think is valid. Oh, I guess I clicked on that, and then, so yeah, okay, so Quinn was like, nah. Alright, Quinn, I guess we should get going. You turn and leave the diner, Avery and Kanika trailing close behind you. Kanika. Still no sign of Stella. Let's check in on Oscar next. Quinn. We should check in on Oscar. He's smart. Maybe he'll know what to do. Kanika. I hope nothing else happened to him after we all went home last night. They're so brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. I'd rather sleep in the woods with the ditchlings than someplace that was that haunted. Avery. Your mom said it's safe, and I'm inclined to believe her. Why would she lie? Kanika. But how would she know that? Avery. Magic, probably. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Morning light streams in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, the library is once again a place of comfort, all menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. Kanika. No ghost, thank God. I was not up for an encore. Avery. Yeah, it's gone, just like your mom said it would be. Kanika. I guess Oscar must be in the back. I know that's where I'd be if I finally got my house back. Avery. I've always been surprised about how unsupervised this place is. Sometimes it feels like anyone could just walk in and do whatever they wanted. Kanika. Like what? Steal books? Avery. So as we have a lot of Avery and Kanika, I'm trying to differentiate their voices slightly, so if my voice tone changes for either of them, that's why. I'm not dramatically, but like I want to try and give Avery a bit more of a slower, like, you know, chill and laid back tone, with Kanika having a slightly more on edge tone because she's got a lot of anxiety. Alright, Avery. I mean, they could, right? I'm not saying anyone would, I'm just saying that people in this town trust each other. A lot. It's nice. Kanika. Let's go find Oscar. You make your way back towards the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were all just a terrible dream. Avery. This hallway really takes me back. It feels like it was only yesterday that we were last here, blissfully unaware that our entire lives were about to change forever. Kanika. It was only yesterday. Avery. I know. Kanika knocks on the door. Oscar. Oh, good morning. It's so good to see all of you. Quinn. He takes in the sight of you standing in the bright corridor. Oscar. I hope you're doing well this morning. Please, come on in. Aw, Dr. Kelly is there. Dr. Kelly. You're doing really great, Rosalina. Not a lot of kids your age can take shots that well. You're being so brave. Rosalina. You don't have to talk to me like I'm 5. Dr. Kelly. But you are brave. Alexis. You really are, Rosalina. You're, like, so badass. Dr. Kelly. Alexis is right. This is more than most people have to deal with in their whole lives, and here you are taking it like a champ. Dr. Kelly's kind demeanor vanishes as she turns and glares at you. I mean, I guess Kanika, or I think, did theorize that she's only nice to kids. I don't know that I did her voice justice there, but, like, or her tone justice, but, like, she definitely likes kids. Dr. Kelly. Oh, I see we have visitors. But her glare vanishes as she takes in your new visage. Her features soften into a look of shock and concern. Dr. Kelly. Mr. Gutierrez told me what happened last night, and I must admit I found it hard to believe, but your face... It definitely looks like you've had years stolen from you, whatever that means. It's concerning. I'd like to give you a physical. Flirt option. Of course, I understand your interest in my body. Let's go somewhere private. But no, I'm not romancing Dr. Kelly here. I'm sorry, I'm looking at these options. They're all so good. Or there's a lot that are good. So there's I don't trust dog. I want to check up, so I'll pick one of the ones that is taking her up on it, but I like, no, this is my punishment for Mima's sins. I do not deserve medical attention. And I'm just really here for the character, your character arbitrarily deciding to call the grandmother she's never met in her, or that they have never met in their life, Mima. So you can poison me, no thank you, is very referencing the Moonchow, the fictitious disorder thing. I don't think you're in network. I don't have insurance, are both valid. No offense, Doc, but I don't think science is capable of fixing ghost magic is also true. I also like, yes, please, thank God, I need someone to fix me. But I feel like that puts unfair pressure on her. And I've already stated that I do not want to do the flirt options. Maybe I'll do the explorer first. Wait, so, wait, you just believe a ghost stole years of my life? Dr. Kelly. Sure, there's plenty of evidence that something happened to you right in front of me. Later in this chapter... Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say for now that it makes sense to me that Dr. Kelly would just believe. After seeing... Okay, bye, Tapao, thanks for hanging out! Dr. Kelly. So, are you going to get your physical? Quinn. Oh, okay. Dr. Kelly. Glad you're taking this seriously. I'll be at the clinic all day. Feel free to stop by when you get the chance. Oh, interesting. Sorry, that makes something else later in the chapter interesting as well. But yeah, no, I will totally stop by the clinic for a physical. That sounds great. Her examination finished, Dr. Kelly returns to Rosalina's side. I'm gonna be like, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna ask Rosalina how she's doing, not the doctor. Quinn. How are you doing, Rosalina? Rosalina. Tired. My leg hurts a lot, but the medicine is helping. It's not so bad now. Plus, I got to lie down in an actual bed last night, and you have no idea how good that felt. Thanks, Quinn. Actually, that felt like a little bit insincere. Thanks, Quinn. That feels a little better, so let's just go back. Yeah. You have no idea how good that felt. Thanks, Quinn. Alexis. I can't believe you got any sleep last night after all that ghost stuff. I just sat on the couch with all the lights on. I don't think I slept at all. Rosalina. I really needed some rest after, the hospital and my foot. Dr. Kelly. Your body is desperately trying to get you to rest. All that activity yesterday was pretty brutal on your injury. It's never going to stop hurting if you keep pushing yourself. So, what are you not going to do today? Rosalina. Anything? Dr. Kelly. That's right, you're staying right here. No walking around, no investigating haunted houses. Alexis. Sorry, Dr. Kelly, I should have been better at stopping her. Oscar. I take full responsibility. As her father, I should have... Dr. Kelly. No need for anyone to step in and take the blame for anything. It's the hospital's fault for sending her home at all. It's gross negligence, if you ask me. But give it time, and then you can do all the activities you want. Alright, Rosalina? Alright, I'm gonna be like, Quinn. I'm guessing Charlie didn't come back for an encore. Oscar. Not as far as I know. I slept in Rosalina's room, and I made sure to put some heavy objects on top of the hatch, just to give myself a little extra peace of mind. But thanks to you, I didn't see or hear anything all night. I think we're in the clear. Rosalina. I didn't see anything either, but even if something did happen, I wouldn't know. I was asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. I'm too tired to worry about ghosts anymore, to be honest. Dr. Kelly. Losing a limb will do that, especially if you decide to tromp around the next day like nothing happened. Rosalina. I would have been fine if it weren't for Charlie. Dr. Kelly. Good thing he's gone then, and let's hope he stays gone. Alright, I'm gonna be like, Quinn. How's Reese? Dr. Kelly. He's fine. Had a rough night, but he'll recover. He's used to this sort of thing. He just needs a couple days to get back on his feet. That means no more excitement, not even a movie. Kanika. I'm sorry to hear that, Dr. Kelly. I'm gonna say this. Quinn. But I want to see Shi-no-Chi Deathblood! I was promised chilling Japanese found footage horror! Kelly. Sorry, Dr. Kelly. Watch it on your own. I'm sure your cousin has a TV lying around somewhere in that big house. Alright. I'm gonna warn Dr. Kelly about the strange carvings. I feel like Quinn is very much the sort to believe the best in everyone. And, like, honestly, I'm also not gonna be like, are you gonna start poisoning her too? Because, like, I don't even think Quinn understands what fictitious disorder is, much less thinks that that's what's happening. Quinn is just very worried about everyone and wants to make sure that they're all on the same page. Quinn. We found something in Oscar's house last night. A stone carving that gave me and Tabitha a vision about what had happened there. Quinn. Oh no, that's just still my character. There was one in the mines the other night too. Both of them had a sort of pull on me. Whatever they are, there's something like them in your clinic. I felt it last night. Have you ever noticed anything weird at the clinic? Dr. Kelly. No, it's just an old building. It has a lot of history, but that doesn't mean it's haunted or that anything supernatural is going on. I understand that there have been some strange events in Scarlet Hollow this week, but despite what your funny feeling might suggest, the clinic is safe. Kanika. But if something does happen at the clinic, aren't you worried about Reese? If it's anything like what happened to us last night. Dr. Kelly. None of you have to concern yourselves with my son's health. I know how to take care of him. Even a supposed ghost emergency or whatever it is you're worried about. Alright. Finally, we will ask the relevant question for why, that is why we came here in the first place. Quinn. Have any of you seen Stella since last night? Dr. Kelly. Not since dinner. Oscar. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Quinn. I'm starting to freak out a little. I really care about her and she's just gone. Kanika. It's okay, Quinn. We're going to find her. Oscar. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. This is my fault, isn't it? I should have done a better job warning her. Kanika. Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. Avery. I don't even think she knew how she'd react. And besides, you didn't know how bad it was gonna get. You can't blame yourself for everything, man. I know you probably feel like it's your responsibility to make sure everyone around you is okay, but sometimes that's just not gonna be possible. You're only one guy. Oscar. That's what Rosalina's always saying. I suppose I do apologize more than I should. Rosalina. You really do. Alright, there's nothing else for me to say there. Dr. Kelly. So, you've got your meds, you've got your nest of pillows, a helpful friend by your side, and a cat to keep you company. Seems like you're all set. Make sure you do a whole lot of nothing today. Rosalina. I will. Bye, Dr. Kelly. Oscar. Yes, thanks again for coming down to see us, Joan. Dr. Kelly. Not a problem. I'd much rather she stay put than have to get in and out of cars. I'll call later today to see how things are going. Hope the rest of the week is a little less eventful for the both of you. Goodbye, Rosalina. Make sure you stay put and keep Pixel company, okay? Dr. Kelly turns towards you again, her usual glare absent. Dr. Kelly. And I hope you'll take me up on my offer, Quinn. I'm concerned about you. And then she pushes past you to leave Oscar's house. Oscar. We'll let you kids have some space. Alexis, why don't you figure out a restful activity for you and Rosalina? Alexis. Will do, Mr. Gutierrez. I brought some video games and puzzles from my house, and some movies, too. Whatever you want to do, Rosalina. Oscar ushers you down Oscar ushers you down back to the library. Avery. What's up? Is everything okay? Oscar. Yes, everything's fine. Or at least much better than yesterday. I can't thank you enough, Quinn. I'd like to be as helpful as I can from here on out. Now that our little situation is dealt with, I'll finally have some time to dig into the town archives. Our house was haunted because someone was murdered there. The mine collapse the other night was at the site of a mass grave. With enough research, maybe we'll be able to get a step ahead of the next crisis. Maybe we can actually preempt it. That is, assuming there's going to be a next crisis. But something tells me we aren't in the clear yet. We should compare notes. Not that I have any to start with, but if you know anything that might narrow down my search, it could save me a lot of time. Kanika. I don't think we actually know that much more than you do, but I've got some hunches. I can't help but feel like there must have been some inciting event, since everything started getting weird seemingly overnight. What that inciting event was, or where to start looking for it, I have no idea, but it's something to keep in mind. Avery stares at you. Avery. I mean, it's obvious, right? Things only started happening once Quinn got here. Kanika shoots Avery a glare. Kanika. No, we are not throwing Quinn under the bus. Avery. What? There's nothing wrong with being a magical catalyst. Kanika. Sure, there's probably nothing wrong with someone being a magical catalyst, but there's definitely something wrong with saying someone's a magical catalyst. If people get the wrong idea, we're only a couple steps away from the whole town deciding to shaw them. Nobody's going to drag Quinn into a witch hunt on my watch. Oscar. I'd like to think that we've outgrown the days of running people out of town on rails. Kanika. I'd rather play it safe. Avery. Don't worry, it's not like I'm gonna run around town telling everyone that Quinn magicked a bunch of terrible disasters into existence. But if there's a catalyst for all this, why wouldn't it be a lost Scarlet finally coming home to Scarlet Hollow? Oscar. If I may, Quinn getting into town isn't the only major event that's happened lately. Herland died over a week ago, and those creatures in the woods were already reproducing by the time they got to town. Not to mention, I started seeing things in our house before Perland passed. I think. I never thought to make a note of exactly when the spirit made itself known. If there's a root cause for all this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back in its bottle. I'm gonna do my best to find out if there have ever been any similar events and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. I'm gonna go with... Like, Quinn is like, I'm not sure what else might be going on, but those carvings I warned Dr. Kelly about are important. Oscar. To think that there was something like that under my house all this time. And to think someone must have put it there. But who? And there was one in the mines, and if you're right, there's one in the clinic. Maybe that's what I should be focusing on right now. Kanika. How many of those things are there? Oscar. If we're lucky, maybe just those 3, but I'd rather not count on it. Alright, I'm gonna give a very small spoiler. If you don't want to be spoiled on anything except for the exact run that you're watching right now, plug yours for a second. In another run, I was talking to Tabitha and mentioned the stone carvings and how I think that they're related, and Tabitha's like, well, don't go looking for them. One of them's buried under 20 feet of solid rock anyway. And I was just like, Tabitha, how do you know that? So I guess we'll, so yeah, I mean, we've known for a while that Tabitha knows more than she's telling you. But I look forward to more of that getting revealed. Anyway, Avery. Good thing Quinn has an open appointment with the doc. You could look around for clues while you're there. Kanika. And it's probably a good idea to see her anyways, for your health. These don't make as much sense when I actually already have the perfect cover. So this is the exact same set of options I got in a different version where I didn't talk to Dr. Kelly and I didn't have the option to come for a checkup. I'm sure Reese will be fine. I'm gonna break into the clinic. Or like, shame she preemptively shot down our movie night. It would have been the perfect cover. But it's like, I have the perfect cover. There's no options that are just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get that checkup and investigate. But actually, we should investigate the clinic is probably a sufficiently generic thing to say. Quinn. We should investigate the clinic. Kanika. You're not wrong, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one who sneaks into Dr. Kelly's clinic and gets caught. She's mean enough as is. I don't want to know what she'd be like if she caught us breaking into her place of business. Avery. Who knows? If we uncover another ghost or some new kind of terrifying supernatural entity lurking in her clinic, she might be more grateful than mad. Anyone who's already played Chapter 4, I'm sure you can have some guesses as to what might be running through my mind. But I don't want to spoil this. I want anybody who wants to watch it rather than play it be able to, like, watch through this whole playthrough unspoiled. For Chapter 4. Oscar. No one should be breaking into any houses. We don't need to go looking for trouble when we've already found a lifetime's worth. Kanika. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Oscar. Just give me a day or two to do some research. Yeah, I think that's supposed to say. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you do anything rash, okay? Yeah, alright. Let's start with this. Why not, Quinn? We have a carving right here. Maybe studying it can give us some new leads. Oscar. Not a chance. I know the ghost is probably gone for good, but that thing is evil.
And if there's even the slightest chance that going back down there triggers something, it's not worth disturbing. At least not until we know more. My daughter's safety comes first right now. We finally have our house back, and I'm not taking any risks until we know what we're dealing with. Kanika. No arguments here. Quinn.
I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult.
Kanika. You mentioned something like this at the library the other day. If there was a cult in Scarlet Hollow, I feel like I'd know about it. Quinn. I don't know, just throwing things out there. Kanika. Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town all my life, I feel like I would know if there was some cult that ran the place. Avery. I've got to agree with Kanika on this. I feel like I'd have picked up on something. Oscar. A cult doesn't necessarily have to run the town to have had an impact here. It doesn't even need to be active. From what I gather, those carvings you've been talking about are old, and whoever left them here is probably long gone. I'll see what I can find. You never know. Alright, I'm gonna warn about Pixel. Quinn. Make sure Pixel stays inside, or he might get grabbed by ditchlings. Oscar. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces? Avery. Yeah, the anguished doughboys. I kinda like them. It's like a hidden object game out there today with all the weird little faces peering out of the bushes. Kanika. Like them? Are we even talking about the same creature? Are we talking about the same creatures that have been laying eggs in the local wildlife? Avery. I don't want to get friendly with them or anything. I just think they're kind of interesting. Kanika. To each their own. Oscar. Oh, whoops. Did I miss something? Oh, yes. He's responding to me saying, don't let Pixel outside. And he's saying, will do. I can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. I think that Quinn is too guileless to really be suspicious of Dr. Kelly at this stage. And we already talked about exploring the clinic. Alright, Quinn. Whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella, and fast. Kanika. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're going to do any serious sleuthing. Avery. See you around, Oscar. Kanika. Let us know what you find. Oscar. I will. Kanika. Good to know that you have an open invitation to the clinic today. Finding Stella should be our priority, but it wouldn't hurt to check in on Reese later. It wouldn't hurt for you to get a checkup either. I'm going to go to all of the places just because I want to see all of the scenes. But, and to be fair, my little lawful good dumbass will probably not not have any reason to be think that going to the cops is a problem, so. Quinn. We should go to the cops, right? Avery. Are you sure? Nothing against the officers of Scarlet Hollow, but you've met them, right? Do you think it's worth the trouble? Kanika. As unhelpful as they are, we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. It's probably going to be more of a formality than anything, but there's no point in not covering all our bases. Alright. We got all the cops in town, plus Duke and Beau. Full house here. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're also not alone here. You enter to find Beau and Duke standing between you and the officers behind the desk. Duke. Now, oh wait, no, that's Duke. Now, wow, voices. Okay, I got voices for these characters. Now listen here, Hugby. Big Betty was set to win a blue ribbon, so don't you go telling me she was just a pumpkin. Beau. worked real hard to get her that big, raised her up from a seed. It's just not fair, officer, sir. Sheriff Hugby. I understand that and all, but I just... Duke and Sheriff Hugby are too similar, but they're a little different, and it's hard when I'm doing them back to back. Sheriff Hugby. I understand that and all, I just don't see what you want... I understand that and all, but I just don't see what y'all want us to do about it. Deputy Derrickson. I know y'all cared a lot about this pumpkin, but as it stands, this simply isn't a job the police can help you with. Now, if you were able to find some kind of evidence that Julius or somebody else stole this big Betty of yours, then you could get a lawyer involved and take it to small claims court. Dude. Dang it, Deputy! Ain't finding evidence what y'all are supposed to be good for? That Julius has been stealing what rightfully belongs to the Callaways all his life, and you folks ain't done a lick of policing to put an end to it. Bo, I told you we was better off handling this ourselves, Daddy. Sheriff Hugby. Whoa there, what happened to you? Bo, are you okay, Quinn? Looks like you got kinda wrinkly since I saw you yesterday. Duke. Now, Bo, it's not kind to comment on others' appearances. Though, you do look a mite sickly. You ain't picked up some disease, have you? I like, what are you talking about? I've always looked like this. That is not a bluff that, I have a condition. Yeah, no, I think that Thembo energy, the most Quinn energy I got here is shrug. Quinn. Quinn absolutely, okay, I'm going to say this exactly the way I imagined Quinn would, which is, ghost turned me old. Hugby, Duke, and Derrickson stare at you for a moment before breaking out in laughter. Deputy Derrickson. If you say so. Kanika. It's true. I was there. I can't believe I'm saying this, but a ghost stole years of Quinn's life. Avery. And we got possessed. It was a wild night. Silence again as everyone in the room processes this new information. Sheriff Hugby. Looks like what happens when my wife takes off her makeup. Takes her makeup off. Okay, that was a better Hugby voice. Hugby laughs, slapping his knee, announcing to the room that he has told a great joke. Yeah, you know what? Quinn is absolutely... This feels like something a Thembo might say, so we're gonna do it. Quinn. Weird question, but are you folks part of a cult and that's why you aren't doing your jobs? The police officers stare at you, perplexed. Sheriff Hugby. A cult? I don't think we have that sort of thing up here. Deputy Derrickson. We are doing our jobs. Just look at Franklin back there. He's filing all kinds of paperwork pertaining to what happened up at the mines. Sheriff Hugby. You know, I can't say I appreciate your tone. Sounds like you're accusing us of some indecency. Deputy Derrickson. What, do you think we go up into the hills and do seances and rituals and all of that sort of thing? Get your head out of the clouds. Alright. Quinn. What's all this about a pumpkin? Sheriff Hugby. Seems the Callaways here have lost a considerably large pumpkin. Duke. We ain't lost crud, Earl. Bo. You can't lose what's been stolen. And we already know who did it. We saw Julius eyeing her yesterday. Deputy Derrickson. Look, Bo, I feel you. I really do. But that's circumstantial at best. And even if it wasn't, you know yourself that there isn't a clear property line. I'm gonna say this because it's funny, the response. Wait, I'm sorry, did you just say crud? Duke. Dang straight I did. I ain't about to cuss in front of the boy. Bo. Cussing in public ain't polite. Duke. You got a problem with that? Nah. Just think it's funny. Just think it's I actually think it's kind of endearing. Anyway. Quinn. What makes you think Julius stole it? Kanika. You're poking a wasp's nest, Quinn. There is 100 years of history here. Bo. He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. Duke. He's got himself confused about where the property line is, as always. Sheriff Hugby. The Calloways and the Tremaines have been at this a long time. They can never agree on whose land is whose. Deputy Derrickson. This ain't the first time we've heard something like this, and we get our fair share of calls from Julius, too. Avery. You know, Julius is a friend of mine. He's a lot of things, and he's definitely a bit of a curmudgeon, but I never pegged him as a thief. Duke. Friend? A snake like him has friends? Avery. Friend is a strong word, but I like to think we have some kind of understanding. Alright. Quinn. Why is this pumpkin so valuable? Duke. She was darn near 2,000 pounds. Bo. She was gonna get us a blue ribbon. Duke. And now we've already missed our chance. The judging was supposed to start today, and here we are, still stuck in the holler and short our prize winner, with Julius Tremaine to blame. He practically spits the name, and then he literally spits on the floor. Bo. He ain't even coming to his door to answer for what he done. Just hold up like the coward he is. At the very least, he could give us seats from what's left of her so we can try again next year. She was good stock, our Betty. Avery. That's interesting, because I haven't seen Julius since Tuesday. He's usually in the diner every day. Not necessarily a big deal for a lot of people, but he never misses his morning Joe. So maybe he isn't a thief. Could be something happened to him. Duke. Mark my words, the man's a thief. You got any other ideas about who would have stolen our prize pumpkin? Avery. Beats me. I just don't think folks should be so quick to jump to conclusions. Avery. Avery continuing. You know, even if Julius didn't take Big Betty, it might be worth doing a welfare check. Deputy Derrickson. Alright, let me speak in plainer terms. Everyone knows that Julius Tremaine's land is booby-trapped to hell. It's not worth it. Duke. Is that so? So you've just been giving me and my boy the runaround all morning? Deputy Derrickson. I don't have to answer that question. Kanika. Helpful. Avery. So he's got some traps on his property. It's never stopped me from visiting. Deputy Derrickson. Yeah? Do you have kids, Avery? Because I've got 2 teenage girls at home. Hugby's got grandkids. Franklin's got the bear, I guess. Oh, huh. I wonder if the mayor is Franklin's pet. That would make a lot of sense. That's why he was the guard. Deputy Derrickson. I'm not about to risk getting my head blown off over a pumpkin. Sheriff Hugby. That's right. There's some sleeping dogs who just learn to let lie. I've been Scarlet Hollow Sheriff for over 20 years now. You don't hold a position like that for so long without learning a few lessons on temperance and moderation. Duke. What good's a sheriff who won't do his job? This is lawlessness. Bo. If I may, sirs, ain't that a mite bit cowardly of you? I thought police officers were supposed to be brave. Deputy Derrickson. Not the ones that live very long, son. I am impressed with how well I managed all 3 of those separate southern accents all for a whole conversation. I am proud of myself, and I'm gonna brag a little bit about it. Okay. Avery. Look, I've been to Julius's 100 times. I can tag along and make sure nobody gets hurt. Sheriff Hugby. That's a mighty kind offer, but let's give it another day. There's no need to escalate things when they might just resolve themselves. Duke. Tomorrow, Earl, or I'm running against you next election. Alright, and now that we've got all that aside, let's bring up the main topic. Quinn. Stella ran off last night and she's still missing. She isn't at home and none of us have heard from her. Deputy Derrickson. She what now? Sheriff Hugby. Oh, that's just our Stella. Always running off. I wouldn't worry too much about it. She'll turn up. Kanika. This is different, Earl. You know I wouldn't be up here bothering you if it wasn't important. Avery. Yeah, for one thing, someone threatened her last night. He's been trailing Quinn since they got to town, too. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Quinn. She shouldn't be off on her own when there's so many ditchlings around. I'm sure you've seen them by now. They're everywhere. Deputy Derrickson. Sure, we may have seen some strange animals lately. Sheriff Hugby. And we've certainly been getting a lot of calls about them, so either Scarlet Hollow is suffering some kind of mass hallucination, or we've been invaded by whatever they are. Deputy Derrickson. But what are you expecting us to do about it? Bo. Ain't y'all supposed to shoot them or something? Sheriff Hugby. Now, son, we ain't animal control. We're the police. Kanika. Are you kidding me? This town doesn't even have an animal control department. Deputy Derrickson. Well, maybe it should get one. Duke. Y'all are no use at all, you know that? Bo. Them things have been after our chickens for at least a week now. Duke. Open your eyes, boy. There are strange things afoot. Quinn. It looks like you folks are busy. We'll be on our way. Avery. Do you really think that Hugby and Derrickson could be part of some cult that secretly runs Scarlet Hollow? That'd be wild. I'd never suspect them of that sort of thing. Seems like it'd be too much work. Kanika. As someone who's lived in this town my entire life, there's no way. For one thing, cult activity like what you're describing just doesn't happen. I've done my fair share of reading on satanic panics and the so-called occult groups, and it's almost always totally made up. People constantly freak out about Satanists without realizing they're just a bunch of debate club nerds who listen to heavy metal. Avery. So, instead of not being able to rely on the cops because they're part of a cult that secretly runs the town, we can't rely on them because they're just not good at what they do? That's so much less exciting. But either way, I guess it's up to us to solve the mysteries of Scarlet Hollow. And short of giving one of them a southern accent, I just don't know how to differentiate between Avery and Kanika. Like, Stella, I do a slightly higher-pitched voice for, so she's got a slight differentiation. Tabitha, I try to make her always sound fed up, but it's just Avery and Kanika are just very like, I just don't have individual vocal tones for them. But that's okay. I'm not a professional voice actor. I'm doing my best with a game that's fun, and I'm hoping people enjoy it. Anyway, Kanika. We'll do a much better job anyway. Avery. Where to next? Oh. Interesting. Powerful build. Before you can suggest your next move, you start to feel woozy. Spots form at the— oh, shit! I totally forgot. Oh. Alright. I knew this. And now I have to think about if I'm happy with where I went, because if you gave up years of your life, you are limited in where you can go. If you didn't, you can go to all of the places. And so in my previous run where I just was checking Chapter 4 out on my own, I absolutely hadn't done that, so, like, I just went all of the places. But what did I miss? I think I missed the church, and I missed the mine. I don't mind missing the mine, but I feel bad for not going to the church. I feel like I should have done that instead of the, instead of Stella's house. But it made logical sense to check Stella's house, and I'm definitely glad we got to Oscar's, and I'm also glad we did the police station just because there's so much plot dump there. And I will absolutely, like, my next run through that we'll get to Chapter 4 is going to be, Silent Max. So he'll and based on the way it went before, he should be able to go to all of the places, so I think it's fine if I don't get to— it's definitely fine if I don't get to go to the mine, and I will live with not making it to the church. I think it's fair to say that it's not, like, it just didn't occur to— like, honestly, the church is a weird pick anyway, so maybe it just didn't occur to them. That's what I'll go with. Powerful build. Before you can suggest your next move, you start to feel woozy. Spots form at the edges of your vision. Your legs suddenly feel unstable, your body sending you clear signals of exhaustion. It pains you to imagine how difficult the effects of Charlie's deal would be to manage for someone less fit than yourself, even if your powerful body is struggling just to walk from place to place. So yeah, so what I have been told from the internet is that if you have made the deal for 10 years of your life, then you only get to go 2 places. You only have enough energy to go 2 places. But if you made that deal and you're powerful build, like Quinn is, then you can go 3 places. Anyway, shall we move on? Oh, wait. Okay, no, that was just the powerful... Oh! I thought that that was the end of places we could go, but... That is the point where you would just have to stop if you had the other thing. I guess it's 3 and 4 then. It's 3 if you just have this effect. And it's 4 if you have this effect because your powerful build is like, oh, okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna load back and go through this normally without that whole side commentary. And just note that it's cool. Powerful build gives you a little bonus to overcome the 10 years of your life thing. Oh wait, whoops, nope, that's not the one I wanted to say. So we're reloading from here just so I can get this straight through. So, Avery, do you really think Hugby and Derrickson could be part of some cult that secretly runs Scarlet Hollow? That'd be wild. I'd never suspected him of that sort of thing. Seems like it'd be too much work. Kanika, as someone who's lived in this town my entire life, there's no way. For one thing, cult activity like what you're describing just doesn't happen. I've done my fair share of reading on satanic panics and so-called occult groups, and it's almost always totally made up. People constantly freak out about Satanists without realizing they're just a bunch of debate club nerds who listen to heavy metal. Avery, so, instead of not being able to rely on the cops because they're part of a cult that secretly runs the town, we can't rely on them because they're just not that good at what they do? That's so much less exciting. But either way, I guess it's up to us to solve the mysteries of Scarlet Hollow. Kanika, we'll do a much better job anyway. Avery, where to next? And I am gonna reread it. Powerful build. Before you can suggest your next move, you start to feel woozy. Spots form at the edges of your vision. Your legs suddenly feel unstable, your body sending you clear signals of exhaustion. It pains you to imagine how difficult the effects of Charlie's deal would be to manage for somebody less fit than yourself, even if your powerful body is struggling just to walk from place to place. Powerful build. You manage to shake it off before Kanika and Avery notice, but still, it won't be long before your aching muscles need to rest. You should plan your next move carefully. Well, I don't think I can opt out of tea with Sybil, so I'm gonna go check out the church so I can talk to the pastor. Yay, I actually do get to do that. I thought that when I first saw that powerful build thing, I was like, oh no, this was it. This was the end of places I could go, but instead it was the game helpfully warning me that I only had one more option. Quinn, we should check out the church. Kanika, the church? Why? Avery, I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with the evidence of the afterlife, so she might try getting into all that religious stuff. It's worth checking out. Kanika, I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. Avery, I wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there, too. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. Kanika, I don't think Baptists do the holy water thing, but I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if that meant keeping us around a little longer. Avery, that's good enough for me. Kanika, let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts. Yeah, honestly, I just wanted to visit the pastor, because we talk, like, you know, I wanted to visit the pastor. That's the only reason we're coming here. Didn't really think Stella would be here. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope towards the church. Avery. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. Kanika. That's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? Pastor Daniel. My, 4 visitors at once on a Thursday. This is unprecedented. Kanika. But there's only 3 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Zane. Oh gosh, I still cannot do a Zane voice, even though I have a Zane voice in my head as the sort of, whoa, surfer dude type. I'm just not good at that voice. So yeah, Zane. Sup, old people? Kanika. Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? Zane. All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Pastor Daniel. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart. But when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Zane. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Kanika. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night, and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hoped maybe you or Janie had seen her? Pastor Daniel. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's just over by the alpacas. Though, Quinn, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private? Kanika. What do you have to say to them that you can't say in front of us? Pastor Daniel. Please, if you wouldn't mind, this is a personal matter. Avery. It's alright, we can get the juicy details later. Pastor Daniel. I'd rather folks not pry on this. You know how rumors get started. But yeah, Quinn is friendly and likes everyone, so is going to say Quinn. So Quinn will say, it's okay, I'm happy to talk to him. Kanika. If you're sure. I guess we'll just leave you to it while we check in with Janie. We'll be right over there by the fence that's conveniently in your line of sight, okay? Avery. See you in a minute. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. Pastor Daniel. I'm so glad you decided to come up to visit me. So many young people these days seem to think they can solve all their problems on their own. Meanwhile, God is right there, ready to help them. If only they'd let him into their hearts. The pastor's eyes dart back towards the alpacas. Pastor Daniel. Okay, good, they're gone. You're new in town. What kind of impression did I make on you? Am I creepy? I think it's very sad. Poor Pastor Daniel. Yeah, no, this is very much the Thembo energy thing to say. Quinn. I don't think you're creepy at all. If anything, you've been extremely welcoming to me. Pastor Daniel. See? That's exactly how I felt I've been acting towards folks. Believe it or not, before I moved to Scarlet Hollow, I used to be pretty popular. I was one of the cool kids over at the Harvard Divinity School. He went to the Harvard Divinity School. Precious. He's interrupted by the sound of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Pastor Daniel. Tulip! Come out of there! You know you're not supposed to play in the woods! Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Pastor Daniel. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? Tulip. I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. Pastor Daniel. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Pastor Daniel. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. Yeah, I also don't have a great voice down for Pastor Daniel, but we're just gonna roll with what we got. Pastor Daniel. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Tulip made up some imaginary friends and keeps telling us that they want her to go out there, like the word of some fictional creatures she made up is going to convince us that it's a good idea for her to play in somebody's old garbage. But she's 7, of course she would get some funny little ideas like that. I'd love to get the community to rally around a big cleanup. It's about time somebody got rid of all that junk. Quinn. Oh, Tetanus Lake! Stella told me about it. Master Daniel. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. Quinn. How big a trash dump are we talking? Would a weekend of hard work clear it out? Master Daniel. Maybe if you had construction equipment and a team of professionals. It's a big area, and I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, I'm just making sure Tulip knows not to go near it. I do wonder. This conversation really makes me think we're gonna actually be dealing with Tetanus Lake one way or another later in the... Oh man, I wonder if there's a carving at the bottom of Tetanus Lake. Oh, that would be terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Quinn. What's that you were saying about imaginary friends? Pastor Daniel. Oh, she's just been talking about these friends of hers lately. Little stories about creatures that live in the church. I'm sure she saw some animal in there and decided it was her friend. It's nothing to be overly concerned about, except the trash heap situation. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Kanika. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Avery. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Quinn. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft. It was awesome. There is a part of me that's like, how come I don't get to feed the alpacas? Oh well. Yeah. Avery. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners. And a few extra for me, of course. Kanika. I hope your talk with the pastor went well? Pastor Daniel. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best of circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Kanika. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town, and you follow. Avery. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone. Kanika. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? Okay, I can't decide between just telling them he wanted to know why everyone in town thinks he's creepy, or being like, everyone in this town is so mean to him! He's a nice guy! Because I definitely feel the second one, but I feel like maybe the Thembo energy, everybody is, being a friend to all means just stating the facts. Quinn. He wanted to know why everyone in town thinks he's creepy. Kanika. He is creepy. Avery. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I don't think he has a lot of friends. People do weird things all the time to try and fit in. Kanika. Point taken, but that doesn't mean he isn't creepy. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? As you consider your next move, your vision blurs again, but this time it persists. The weakness in your knees returns. Your ears fill with static, and you can feel yourself swaying, unable to control your body. It seems the toll of the pact you made last night is finally catching up with you. Avery. Whoa, you don't look too good. Your body crumples to the ground. Kanika. Oh shit! The general store's just around the corner. Let's get you inside. The bells of the general store jingle welcomely as your companions drag you across the threshold. You can faintly make out the unintelligible mumbling of what must be voices, and then you fade out once again. You come to in a chair in the tea room. Sybil sits across from you, a gentle smile of relief washing over her face as you gain consciousness. It's dark here, the sunlight filtering through the heavy curtains, weak and watery, partially supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. Alright, I need a break. I have been streaming for a long time. I will keep going. I want to get through the entire chapter today. I suspect I'm only about halfway through, and that's a long stream for me, because usually I stream for about 2 hours. So I need a little break. I will be back in a little bit. Alright, sorry I was gone so long. I did not mean for that break to be quite that long. But, I don't have many viewers, so hopefully people can just skip over that part and get back to the content without having to wait for it. But yeah, no, I got roped into a household repair, and those always take longer than you expect them to. It's okay though, I got a present of a fancy chocolate bread in exchange, so I feel like that's fair. Anyway, let us continue this chapter. Sybil. Welcome back. It's just the two of us now, I'm afraid. Avery had to go help out at the diner, and Kanika is getting some much-needed bed rest upstairs. Interestingly, I will say, there are things that you see that happen in this scene in other runs. Let's just say, in other runs I might end up with reasons to be suspicious of Sybil, but Quinn absolutely does not. Quinn has zero reason to be suspicious of Sybil. Probably wouldn't have been to begin with, but... Kanika decided to take a nap. Avery went back to the diner. Yeah, that all tracks. Right. So, moving on. So yeah, no, Quinn is like, yeah, Sybil seems pretty upstanding. Sybil. I went ahead and made you some tea, dear. It should help a bit with your condition. Your eyes drift down to the cup of freshly brewed tea in front of you. It smells light and citrusy with undertones of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. Sybil. Don't expect it to change your grey hairs back, but at the very least it should make it easier for your mind and spirit to adjust to some of the physical changes you've gone through. Hopefully you'll be a little less exhausted and less prone to passing out. And when you're finished, we can use the leaves for a reading. On the house, of course. Until then, why don't we just chat? Yes. Quinn is gonna be all like, oh my gosh, I feel awful. Tea sounds like healing tea sounds awful. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced by the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Quinn. So, how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Sybil. Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hillfolk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They've had to figure out their own medicine. Alright, Quinn. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it, unsavory tales of my mom's youth? Sybil. I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which means I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearl Ann was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as the punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Quinn. Why were Pearl Ann and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Sybil. Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young. Too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. Quinn. What do you know about my grandma? Mima, apparently. Sybil. I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. Quinn. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? Sybil. I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart or something just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out? Sybil. She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. The Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. Yeah, nah, Quinn is guileless. Quinn is just gonna drink the tea and not ask any other pushy questions, and not ask any of the pushy questions. You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it, the small cup empty save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Sybil wasn't lying when she said it would help your condition. You still feel aged and worn, but you're a little less tired and a little mentally sharper than you were a few minutes ago. I mean, that's a bonus. Again, as far as Quinn is concerned, like, Sybil is pretty great and has done nothing but good. And has just been really helpful. Sybil. Oh good, glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Sybil. Oh dear. This doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure, but we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat. An enemy, lurking in plain sight. And there's such an obvious Thembo answer here. Quinn. Oh, the cat's gotta be Pixel! Or maybe it's Frou Frou. Those are the two cats I know. Sybil. Dear, the cat isn't a literal cat. Like I said, it's a symbol for an enemy lurking in plain sight. Probably a human enemy, but almost certainly not a cat. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out the answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna just go in one ear and out the other for Quinn. Quinn is like, what do you mean cannot be trusted? I do not understand this concept. Sybil. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connecting to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the catch reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. Quinn. I think I felt another in the clinic. Sybil. That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that should give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around her clinic. If I recall correctly, there's a hill that'll take you nearly all the way up to the second story, and she never locks any of the doors up there. Just in case that's helpful information. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. Sure. Quinn, you helped last night. Why don't you come with me? Sybil. I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. Quinn. Thanks! I'll let you know if I find anything. Sybil. Glad to hear it. I hope all goes well, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. Sybil. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Yeah, nah. Quinn is friendly and wants to talk to all the people. Quinn. Is your mom a witch? Miles. Yeah, she's way too obvious about it if you ask me. It's pretty cool, though. Quinn. And you know what? I love that Miles totally treats you differently if you're hot. He's, like, way friendlier and more likely to actually give you straight answers. Quinn. So, Kanika has a cold, huh? Miles. Yeah, I guess so. Why? Do you like my sister or something? Quinn. I'm just worried about her. Miles. You shouldn't be. Quinn. Ghosts are real. Just thought you should know. Miles. Yeah, I know. I have YouTube. Quinn. You see any weird rocks around town? Miles. Nah, I'm done hanging around rocks after that whole thing in the mine. Quinn. I'm old now. Or older. Thanks for not bringing it up. Miles. Don't beat yourself up over it. Silver's a good look on you. Gonna go check on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. You knock on Kanika's door. Kanika. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. Quinn. I'm not your mom. Kanika. Oh, Quinn, what's up? Quinn. I'm going to the clinic. I was hoping you would join me. Kanika. Sorry, Quinn. My mom was right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it, or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. It looks like you're on your own. You make your way out of the general store and head down the road to the clinic. Sorry. You make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet that has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. It's time for your checkup. You can see the hill that Sybil was talking about, wrapping around the back of the old hospital like a stone blanket. It should take you directly up to the second floor and the unlocked doors of the terrace. Why is hot a trait that helps me get to the terrace? I would understand if it was powerful build and I could just freaking climb up there. You know what? I'm gonna just do a quick, like, save to, oh, ignore that. You saw nothing. Sorry about that. This is the page I want to be on. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick save here so I can go back and poke at that. Oh, no, this is the other run I was doing. That's fine. And that's a different run. Quinn is the very first run. That's what's going on here. Okay. Here is where I'm gonna save it, and then I'm gonna reorganize these saves because I figure end of chapter 1, end of chapter 2, etc. so forth. So I just want to save that so I can poke at what the hot option is there later. But that's, you know, I'm just gonna go see the doctor. You already have an appointment. You might as well just walk into the clinic and see Dr. Kelly. You can figure out the rest of your investigation later. Because, yeah, I feel like Quinn is perfectly happy to be like, actually, you know, I would like to get a checkup from a doctor. You open the door to the clinic. It creaks loudly on its hinges. The interior feels surprisingly modern compared to its exterior, though you can still glimpse the ornate bones of the building peeking through in the decorative molding and overly complicated banister lining the stairway. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. But before it can drag you too far into the clinic, Dr. Kelly puts aside her paperwork and makes her way down the hall. Her expression is still as exasperated as ever, despite the fact that she's the one who asked you take the time out of your day to come here. Dr. Kelly. You made it. Good. The exam room is just this way. You don't need a doctor's appointment. You need to find whatever's been calling you here. Can you give me a tour first? Dr. Kelly. No, I barely have enough time to give you this exam, and there's really not much to see anyway. It's an old building, but that doesn't mean it's anything special. Now, come on, the exam room is this way. The doctor directs you down a hallway, and you follow her to the clinic's exam room. Dr. Kelly. I'm just going to start with some general diagnostics, but I'd also like to do some blood work today if you're amenable to that. She presses the cold metal of her stethoscope to your chest. Why is that specifically a powerful build option? I hate needles. Like, that seems like that could be an anyone option. Quinn. You haven't heard from Stella yet, right? Dr. Kelly briefly removes the stethoscope from your chest. Dr. Kelly. She's still missing? I haven't seen her. I'll make sure to check with Reese. I know he hears from her pretty frequently. But let's finish this up first. She places the stethoscope back on your chest. Oh, I do like that. Give it to me straight, Doc. How much longer do I have left? But no, I think Quinn is gonna just be like, yeah, just let the doctor work. You quietly let Dr. Kelly work. Dr. Kelly. Silence. Have you always had a heart murmur? No doctor has ever said you had a heart murmur. Before you can answer, she attaches a blood pressure cuff to your arm, inflating it with a few quick pumps of bulb. The ends of your fingers tingle numbly as the cuff constricts. Oh my god, I love this, and I'm gonna say it. Powerful build option only, apparently. Heart murmur? But I'm supposed to live forever! What have I been working towards all these years, if not health eternal? Dr. Kelly. Maybe you shouldn't have pissed off a ghost, or whatever it was you did last night. Seems like that was pretty detrimental to your health. I don't know if any amount of working out will be able to fix it. Not that you should stop trying, though. Your fitness is gonna do you a lot of good in coming back from what's happened to you. The pressure on your arm finally releases. Blood rushes back to into your fingertips. Dr. Kelly. Your blood pressure is fine, but it's higher than I'd expect for someone with your level of fitness. Let me know if you feel any pain. The doctor leans over you, using her forefingers to prod your abdomen. She steadies you with a gentle hand on your shoulder. Sorry, the hot and powerful build flirt option is a little... if I were going for the Dr. Kelly romance, hot and powerful build is clearly the way to go, because that gives the flirt option, hope palpitating a body like mine is as fun for you as it is for me. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go for, let's see. I think I actually am gonna ask this because Quinn has that good kicked puppy dog vibe. Quinn, do you have something against me? When I first showed up, you were kind of scary, and you still are. The doctor sighs, and you feel like the jabs to your torso get a little softer. Dr. Kelly. Yeah, people tell me that. I'm a brusque person. It's just part of who I am. I don't mean to come off as rude. Plus, Stella and Kanika showing up with you in tow meant that I would have to be a tough parent and turn you all away, and I hate having to do that. It probably made me even pricklier than I needed to be. In my defense, I'm just being protective. Reese's health is at a difficult point, and probably will be for the rest of his life. It means I have to be more strict than I'd like. But I'm sorry I let that impact the way I've spoken to you. I'll try to be more thoughtful. Fair enough. I feel like that was a very genuine apology. You know what? I'll just admit it at this point. Even so I've already played the chapter, and so but there's things I'm avoiding talking about until we get to them. I like Dr. Kelly. I really do. Anyway, but we'll get there. I don't want to talk more about that until we get to the end of the chapter. So yeah, Quinn, I'm interested in your thoughts on folks around town. Dr. Kelly, we really don't need to do small talk. But I want to do small talk. So we're gonna try it. Quinn, do you know Sybil well? Dr. Kelly, small talk it is then. I know her as well as anybody else. She's yet another resident of Scarlet Hollow who should really come see me more often, but she has her own ideas about health. She seems to think drinking a gallon of tea a day will grant her immortality. I'm sure I'll be seeing more of her when she realizes that's not the case. Quinn, did you know my mom well? Dr. Kelly, I did. We were friends growing up. She was sarcastic, but nice. I liked that about her. A hell of a lot more pleasant to be around than her sister. Quinn, and that dovetails nicely to Quinn asking, what did you think of Pearl Ann? Dr. Kelly, Vivian and I used to joke that she was the evil twin, though I'm not sure if you can call it a joke if it's just true. Sorry, I really shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Quinn, do you know any history about my family? Dr. Kelly, of course I do. Folks around here learn all the important myths about your family. The whole bootstraps thing with Silas, the founding of the town by the mighty Andrew J. Scarlet, and of course the big collapse and the evil Charles Shaw who gets all the blame. Your family is a big deal in this town. Of course I know about them. Only as much as anyone else, though. I'm not really into local history. Quinn, I'd like to know more about the clinic. Dr. Kelly, well, it was an old hospital during the Civil War, then one of those clean air clinics. Then around the time of the collapse, it was converted back into a hospital, but it lost most of its funding as people left town, so now it's just a doctor's office. with an astronomical heating bill. All the massive windows and glass doors make this an icebox in the winter. Quinn. Sounds like it'd be Ghost City. Ever seen any? Dr. Kelly. No. And neither has Reese, so don't try to weasel your way into seeing him again under the guise of asking him if he's seen any dead soldiers or miners or whatever. Quinn. What happened here after the Shaw mine collapsed? Dr. Kelly. I suppose the only thing I know that the average resident of the Holler might not is the collapse was the reason this was converted into a proper hospital. The wounded were brought here, where there were beds and medical supplies, and that pushed out the last dregs of the clean air kooks. Nobody thought the air around here was that clean after a coal mine collapse filled it with ash, and the theory was already on its way out at that point. Yeah, nah, Thembo energy, gonna ask. Quinn. If there were to be a big stone carving hidden somewhere in the clinic, where would that be? Dr. Kelly. More of that carving nonsense, huh? Okay, I don't even know what your angle could be with this one. I've never seen any big stone carvings around here, and of course I wouldn't know where someone would hide something like that. And I don't have time to show you around for some little investigation. I'm not a tour guide. After this, I'll need to re-sterilize the room, and then I've got paperwork to do for the rest of the day. You know what? I'm gonna be... This feels like the good, friendly Thembo option. Quinn. I really appreciate you looking out for me, Doc. Dr. Kelly. No problem. Just doing my job. I'd feel negligent if I saw someone go through what you've gone through and didn't step in, even if there's not much I can do to help. I'd like to check out your lungs. Can you breathe into this for me? Make sure you keep a tight seal on it. You place the mouthpiece against your lips. Dr. Kelly. Now blow out hard and keep going until you're out of air, okay? Powerful build. You do your best. You can tell your lungs aren't quite what they used to be. Dr. Kelly. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd expect given everything else. Again, I don't have data from before, but judging by your age and what I'm able to tell from a quick once-over, it's looking like you're the equivalent of at least a decade older, and not a good decade. I'm guessing the blood work is going to show about the same. She goes to a drawer and retrieves a needle. Ah, I see, this is why there was a needle content warning. There's more than one reason there's a needle content warning, but like, I guess there's an option where you can just get a blood draw. Wow, are you gonna feed my blood to your vampires? No, she's being nice. She's being nice. She's giving me a free checkup. I'm not gonna, like, harass her about it. Okay, there's only one of these responses that isn't terrible. Quinn. Am I gonna wind up some research guinea pig now? Are you gonna write papers about me? Let's be real, I think Quinn would be a little bit excited about it. Are you gonna write papers about me? Dr. Kelly. I'm not that sort of doctor. I'm too busy for research. I just treat people and take care of my son and have no interest in hyping you up as some kind of unfortunate marvel of medicine. But we should figure out what kind of damage you're dealing with before it gets any worse. I love it! Quinn. Oh, I kind of wanted you to write papers about me. Dr. Kelly. I'm sure someone out there would be delighted to do a case study on you. That someone is not me. But if you find them, I'm sure they'll appreciate the data we're about to collect. She proceeds to stick you with the needle. It stings, as needles often do. But it doesn't last long. The needle slides back out quickly, and she puts a cotton ball on the tiny hole in your skin, pasting a band-aid over the top to seal in your vital juices. Dr. Kelly. See, there, see? That's all we had to do. Not bad at all. Alright, that's all we can really do for now. I'll make sure to notify you when I get the results, and I'll send them to your GP. Do you have you do have a regular doctor back home, right? I'm gonna go with, you know what, someone who's a fitness buff with, like, powerful build is totally going to have a regular care doctor. Quinn. Of course I do. Dr. Kelly. Good. You're in for a shock when you get back home, that's for sure. You're free to go. You know how to find the door. She starts busying herself with cleaning up her equipment. She'll be distracted, at least for a few minutes. Good. Your appointment is done and you're free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. Quote unquote. You've been caught by the pull of the object, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. I gotta tell you, when I played this yesterday, I saw this and I was like, shock. It wasn't quite jump scare levels, but I was like, oh no! The lights click on. You're in the morgue. But then he got up and I'm like, okay. Reese. Quinn? He squints, seemingly unsure whether you're the same person he met yesterday. Reese. What are you doing in the morgue? There's so many good options here. Vampire is my favorite. Oh my god, you died and she Frankensteined you back to life. That was genuinely my theory for several chapters, so I appreciate that's an option. Am I interrupting something? Okay, I have to ask. Are you human? Or, she killed you! Or, what are you doing sleeping in the morgue? Or, I'm just gonna pretend I never saw this. But yes, no, I think of these things, I'm gonna go with the one that's really fucking funny to me, because, like, why not? I can totally see, dumb of ass, pure of heart, dumb of ass. Quinn. Vampire! Reese. I'm not. Please don't stake me. I just find it easier to sleep down here. Don't ask me why, that's just how it is. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. Follow the pole. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Reese. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. Reese. You kind of looked possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Alright, let's see. What do I feel like is a good response for Quinn? That is too much information. Oh, perfect! Oh my god, so perfect. Quinn. Why wall? Need see thing, but wall stand in way? Reese glances back at the wall. Reese, are you trying to get at something behind the wall? It kind of has a bad vibe, doesn't it? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency act somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the dock out of our hair. Should take like 2 seconds. Though these options are all great, yes please, axe now, sounds great, lead the way, well no, that one's way too put together, or yes, I will destroy the wall, are both very funny. I was waiting for the powerful build option here because I want to see if it works. Quinn. Why use an axe when I have my arms? I bet I can tear through that wall no problem. Reese. I'm not an expert, but I'm guessing it would be more efficient for you to use those big arms to wield an axe instead of tearing into the wall like some kind of wild animal. Oh, that would be super cool to see. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Reese. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Dr. Kelly. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. Reese. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though. Dr. Kelly. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice, and some ginger ale, too. Reese. That would be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy. Dr. Kelly. It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back. Reese. Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. Reese, it worked! Also, I'm gonna just comment on my voices again. My voice for Dr. Kelly and my voice for Reese are somewhat similar, but I feel like that's totally reasonable and fair because they are parent and child. The theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Reese, come on up. We don't have long until she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. Reese, it's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. Reese, I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records with your family's name on them. Yeah, no, we already established in the library scene that Quinn is not big on reading. So if you want to know what's in those files, either I hope people will consider buying the game and doing their own playthroughs, or wait until I get there with a different character. I shall be going through at least 4 runs, all the way up through chapter 4. But Quinn is just going to ignore them. That's not what we're here for. You turn around and leave the office as it was. Whatever those records were, they weren't an X, and you don't want to waste time looking through them when the carving awaits. Reese, the medical supply room is probably a good bet. A fire axe seems like something that might be useful in a room full of chemicals. It's just down the hall. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. We'd better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had the chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops, as if listening to something you can't hear. Reese, shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. Reese, she's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. Yeah, no, Quinn wouldn't be like, go find your own place to hide. So, let him in. You make space, and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. It's a damn good thing that Dr. Kelly doesn't have keen eye. And then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. Reese, we'd better wait a second, just in case. Quietly wait for the danger to pass. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back to your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. Reese, that was the door to the house. We're in the clear. Let's go. The two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. The only option is to let Reese handle it, so that's what I'm gonna do. You watch while he rifles through drawers, content to let him figure it out. Soon, there's a jingling of keys, and he turns to you, victorious. Reese, there we go. They're even color-coded. She made this too easy. Reese pauses to look at the plant on the table. It was weird of her to drop that off, right? Why would she put some alien-looking fruit in the supply room? She's not a pharmacist. She's not supposed to make her own medicine. This room is for storing stuff she orders from an actual pharmacist. And I doubt it's decorative. Quinn, who cares? We've got bigger fish to fry. Reese, yeah, we're on the clock. Don't want to get caught in here. He shoves a berry from the weird plant into his pocket. I'll meet you down here. I've got to come up with something to cover for the noise. He hands you the axe and you make your way back down the hallway towards the morgue. You follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. Dr. Kelly. I was right. We did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge, but there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Reese. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, that's just my music. Dr. Kelly. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time? Reese. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Dr. Kelly. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You hear the door at the top of the stairs close, and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent-lit room below. Reese. Hey. Wait, you listen to music that sounds like a wall being broken down? Reese. Of course I do. I'm sad all the time. Glad my taste in music is finally coming in handy. That's exactly the cover we need. Stop asking questions! It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall! Which immediately puts the Hades Town song in my head. I am running low on water, so I'm going to drink the rest this way. Yes. Quinn. Wall! 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 Reese. Have at it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. Powerful build. It's like cutting through butter. You were right, you could have torn it through it with your bare hands. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Reese. Holy shit! The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from the forgotten passageway into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. Reese. And there's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward. And you climb into the hole. This is so spooky! It's not the spookiest thing that's going to happen in this chapter, but we're definitely in the final phases. So things are only going to get worse from here on. Although we'll see how my traits play into that. Reese. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing, rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. That is super creepy, though, that they just sort of boarded up an entire wing of the hospital. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Reese. Whoa, are you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Definitely one of the weirdest shaped ones. Injured man. Enoch, I thought you weren't gonna come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do? Enoch. Nonsense, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research and I've found us an alternative. We don't have to worry about anything from here on out. I promise. I went to talk with the witch. Teddy. Oh, a witch? But that's nonsense. Enoch. It's all right. It's all sorted. I'm taking you home today, and everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Reese. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down the wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. Are you okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? Reese, no, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. It was a few hours ago. Powerful build. Allows me to ask. Quinn, you carried me? Through a hole in the wall and up and down a bunch of stairs? Because let's be real, Quinn is built. Reese, what? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. I can still do things normal people can do. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with this. Quinn, that's like powerlifter shit, though. Reese, is it? I guess I don't have much of a frame of reference for what normal people can do. Quinn, I had a vision. Reese, like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always just weird little things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller. Aren't those interesting hallucinations for him to have had? Yeah, I think I'm gonna roll it with Quinn. I think these are visions of things that actually happened. Reese. Whoa, I wonder if you'd see anything else if you went back in there. Or if there are more around town. Maybe if you collect them all, you'll finally unravel whatever the big mystery is. Seems fun. Quinn. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? Reese. No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come too in the morgue. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one, because it's like... No, actually, I was like, no, because Dr. Kelly literally already, like, did a full checkout. Alright, Quinn. I should probably get going. Stella's still missing, and the stone here finally stopped yelling at me. Reese. That might be a little tricky. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refused to take my medicine, quote-unquote, and she's not happy about it. To be clear, the quote-unquote was me clarifying that there was a quote-unquote, an air quotes, and not actually something that was said. Reese. But after I looked this up, there was no way I was gonna take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. Yeah, cue a lot of content warnings, so content warning city. Content warnings beware. But we'll see, again, how my traits affect that. Reese. I went ahead and blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. Quinn, you blocked your door? Reese. Of course I did. Put a chair in front of it. It's never failed me before. We don't need her coming down here to finish me off or whatever it is she might do now that I know what her treatment plan has been all these years. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Quinn does not realize that there's anything problematic or weird about this situation, but is like a little like, that's weird, but okay. Quinn, heck yeah, sleepover! Reese, that's right, we can totally make the best of this whole situation. Maybe we can have a movie marathon. We'll wait until she's asleep, then we can at least get out of the basement and we can figure out what to do from there. Quinn, but why would your mom poison you? Reese, I don't know. But the internet says this is castor bean. It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. And death, usually. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. if this was fictitious disorder and there was actually nothing else going on, and this has been going on for 10 years, it would be, for the record, just me spitballing as, the player here. Usually fictitious disorder is the latter, but, that would be assuming nothing else is going on here. Reese. Either way, I don't think I ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. I don't think there is any reason why Quinn would know what ricin is. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Quinn is lawful good enough, and Quinn is probably like a good enough child to have never run into danger with cops and just not occur to them that cops are not someone you go to, but yeah, so we'll go with that. We'll try that. Quinn. With your evidence, you should be able to go to the cops. Maybe not the local cops, but a cops. Reese. I do have the castor bean from the pharmacy, but I'd still have to prove where I got it from. And that she used it to poison me. It's possible that the cops might just think I snapped and it could turn everything even worse for me. I don't think the doc would hesitate to have me committed if it meant she could keep her hold on me. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Quinn. No matter what, we should get out of this basement soon. Reese. Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. Yeah, I'll go with that. Quinn is dumbass enough to not really think about how maybe Tabitha wouldn't like that very much, and is gonna go ahead and offer their place. Quinn. You can stay with me if you want, at least until you get on your feet. Oh, wait, no, they mean back in their city. It is a closet in a house with 10 other people, so as a fair warning, it's gonna be cramped. Reese. Whoa, I can't remember the last time I saw so many people at once. It sounds great. And at the very least, I'd be away from here. I can start making money. Maybe even find my own place. He smiles, his eyes distant as he imagines the possibility of such a life, undoubtedly for the first time. Reese. Thanks, Quinn. You have no idea how much this offer means to me. But I guess we've still got to pass some time before we can get out of here. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be like, I believe, because I definitely had Quinn be excited about the movie, so. But one more time, BRB, but this is just to refill my water, because I need water to get through this last bit of this chapter. Gonna be some talking. Alright, so I am back, and as mentioned, now, I theoretically have the right trait to deal with this, but we'll see what that actually ends up looking at. So, like, things are poised to just don't get worse from here. We're in the final stretch of this chapter, and now I have water. I should start making myself, like, soothing lemon and honey tea for these, for any time I'm gonna do, like, a longer book, visual novel chapter. So yeah, Quinn, for whatever reason, is excited about horror movies, unlike me, so... Quinn, I believe you owe me a showing of Shinochi, Deathblood. Reese, I believe I do. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Reese, let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time, what with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and of course the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs has been poisoning her son since his teens. Reese, I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back to the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the narrative that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person. Hey there, Reese. Your ears are starting to look a little pointy. Teeth is starting to look a little pointy. What big teeth you have. What big ears you have. Just commenting. Anyway, Reese, I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out. Like watch movies with another person. Or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. Yeah, no, I want to be friends. Quinn wants to be friends with everyone, and they are only flirting with Stella. I'm just hoping that romance path with Reese isn't the only way to use the trait that's supposed to be helpful here. So yeah, I apologize, I am spoiling it. I know that the trait for this chapter is one I have, but I'm gonna find out how that actually works. Because one thing that is known, like, to anyone who's been playing this game, like, it's been made public that every chapter, like, there are 7 skills, there's going to be 7 chapters, and each chapter, one of those skills will allow you to avoid the very difficult decision at the end. Like, because every chapter ends in a difficult, or, like, has a key moment in which there is a difficult decision for which there are no good options unless you have the right skill. But you can only pick 2 skills, so there will only ever be 2 chapters you can do that with. Allegedly Hot is the one for this chapter, but I have no idea what that looks like, because the version I ran yesterday was with a character who didn't have that trait, so... So we'll find out, because one of my concerns is that it might force me onto a romance path with Reese, or like I might have to be on a romance path with Reese to do it, but we'll find out. Maybe I will just be charismatically charming and attractive enough to just talk him down. Sorry, that was a little spoilery, but I think it's at this point pretty obvious that the problem here is going to be Reese. But Quinn is not suspicious right now. Quinn is just friend. Quinn, I'm glad you'll be able to have a social life, and I'm happy to be part of it. Reese smiles to himself. Reese, it's still hard to imagine, hard to believe after all these years alone, that that's going to be my reality. A man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. Reese, I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then that horror sees you back? Incredible. Cosmic horror in the truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Yeah, you know what? Quinn's opinion probably is this. Talking during movies is fine. Let him. He's just excited. Reese. Sorry if I'm talking a lot. I'm just jittery. It's a little terrifying to think that she's up there right now. There's a knock on the window. Wait.
Quinn, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home.
Reese. That voice. I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the window. Reese. Good luck, freak! That glass is shatterproof. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside, we're surrounded! Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. gonna go on with, like, Quinn is, like, a little sus of Wayne, but is, like, at the end of the day, he's never actually hurt anyone, so I'm gonna go with this one. Quinn, what do you mean? Wayne isn't gonna hurt you. He hasn't hurt anyone. Reese, yes, he will. He's furious with me. Can't you hear it? But I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. I don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. I can protect both of us, Quinn. The window shatters. Ah! Something's happening here. Something's happening. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Wait. Grab my hand. I'll pull you out. Reese. Leave us alone! Oh, this is gonna be hell on my voice. Did I mention that I was looking into voice modifiers and that I'm a little sad I didn't end up giving myself the time to set one up? In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. Honestly, so from Quinn's perspective, this is a little weird, but you know, sometimes maybe people, like... Alright, so here's the thing. Quinn doesn't get scared easily. Because they're, you know, first of all, they've already faced a bunch of shit this week, and also they, you know, with powerful build, like, you know, even with the ditchlings, they were like, I'm gonna punch one! So they're, like, not super worried for their own safety to start with. They also have no sense of self-preservation, let's be real. So they're, like, not, like, suddenly terrified for their life. They're like, huh, okay, this is weird. And the other thing is, Reese at no point has said or done anything to indicate that he might attack, like, the player. And I think Quinn is not the type to lose their cool, so they're gonna be like, okay, this is a thing that's happening. Guess we'll find out what this thing that's happening is. Reese. We aren't safe, but I can protect you. I can protect the both of us from the people who want to control us. I feel strong now. I think I can save us. Stay here. I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc. Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his smears. Alright. So, alright. I don't, there's some options here. I think Quinn is not going to necessarily think to call Tabitha. I think it just won't occur to them. Because they're so used to being able to deal with shit on their own. I think that they're suddenly going to be very worried for Dr. Kelly. Unclear what take care of them means, but it, like... I also think that Quinn is idealistic enough to think, surely he doesn't mean anything too drastic, right? So we're gonna go with, you're not sure who to help, best to follow Reese and see how things play out. You make your way to the door that beckoned you yesterday, all intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now, the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there is a monster, preparing to do something unthinkable. You grasp the handle and turn. Dr. Kelly. Duck! Powerful build! Roll out of the way! You're quick to follow her command, your body falling forward and rolling gracefully out of harm's way. She shoots. Just gonna say, that's sure a look. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air to hit Reese. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out of his chest, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. Reese,
You're going to have to try harder than that, you bit. No. How did you...
Wait.
As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh.
Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between the cracks in the wood. Reese is panicked, pulling in a mob of furious smears to hold his enemies in place. This is... Okay, I still have this question. This is wild. Why do we know what those paint blobs are called? I guess because it's convenient, but... Yeah, maybe that's just... Maybe we can just assume that that is whatever your character is has just decided they need a name. Smears sounds right. I don't know. Like, at least if you have Mystic or something, it makes sense you would just know that, but yeah. The artist darts away. The smears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Huh. I do think maybe Quinn would feel better armed, but on the other hand, they're definitely still hoping to get through this without anyone dying. Oh my, hello, T'Pau, yes, we are here. I'm tempted to run to the morgue and grab the axe. You've not missed the ending, T'Pau, which is the only thing that's truly... Oh wait, no, sorry, my bad. You did miss something that is very worth watching the VOD for, T'Pau. I absolutely, and I'm sorry to interrupt everyone, this is actually not a terrible point to interrupt, so I'll stop to comment on this. You should watch my VOD, because I actually did get a checkup from Dr. Kelly. We went through the whole checkup, I got to ask a whole bunch of extra questions, and it was really interesting. Definitely recommend checking out the VOD for that. But yeah, no, otherwise, things have mostly proceeded similarly, and I'm at the point where I expect things to maybe be different. I'm wondering if I had to romance Reese to get a different option here. I did talk already about how allegedly hot is the option that allows you to solve the problem, but I'm not sure if maybe hot is... if you have to have hot and you have to have romanced Reese. So if that's the case, I've already failed. But let's see. Alright, so Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place by the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. You know, I've been running this so far since Reese's transformation as Quinn is keeping their cool because they don't get rattled that easily. And because they're used to being able to fight their way out of stuff. So yeah, getting the axe is new because it's a powerful build thing. So yeah, why not? You need to arm yourself. You rush down to the morgue, practically flying down the steps. The axe is still lying on the floor where you/Reese dropped it. You pick it up. A feeling of safety settles in your chest as you grip the wooden handle. At least, if you have to fight, you're prepared. Dr. Kelly. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You, Quinn! I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help both of us. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with this one. Quinn. What the hell is your son, ma'am? Dr. Kelly. I wish I knew. He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was gonna be a bitch, but they don't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. Head to the medical storage room. Axe in hand, you rush up the stairs from the morgue and into the medical storage room. Quinn. I'm here. Dr. Kelly. Great. Now listen to me. I need you to use the black-taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's in a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore. Reese. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Oh, and this is the point where everybody looking at him, I'm just gonna give this to everybody, because I didn't get it right away, but other people have. We're looking at some Jersey Devil nonsense here, for sure. Reese. Quinn, you don't have to do anything she says.
I'm not gonna hurt anybody else. Just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers. Did I hear that right? And shove me back down into that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me.
I'm definitely gonna go with I'm not gonna let you kill someone, cause you know what? I'm not dangerous. I'm just gonna go kill my mom real quick. Like, yeah, I understand you feeling betrayed and horrified, but like, one, I do think that she should have told you. She should have explained it all to you. But looking at you now, I think there was maybe a reason why she was drugging you, and that wasn't fictitious disorder. And two, Quinn doesn't want anyone to die. I'm not gonna let you kill someone. Quinn, I'm not going to let you kill someone, Reese. Reese.
Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't gonna kill me? Does she care?
Dr. Kelly. Trust me, Reese. I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Reese.
Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance. And you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist.
Oh, this is killing my voice.
Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion. Now that the consequences are staring you in the face.
Wait.
Enough.
Reese cries out in pain. Reese.
Ah! What the hell did you do to my shoulder?
Reese. Sorry, wait.
I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then.
The two stagger off down the hallway. Dr. Kelly.
Quick! Grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room.
Well, that's interesting and new. And then gonna come back in and try both of those cursed powerful build options. But Quinn doesn't want anyone to die here, and so is not going to help either of them fight each other. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. The axe was just for emergency self-defense. I know, right, Tapao? If you want, we can catch up after, like, some point later to check those out together, but for now, it's not what Quinn would do, so it's not happening on stream. You make your way out of the medical storage room and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the massive paint sealing it shut. Dr. Kelly. Hurry! I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. Itty bitty little smear. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Dr. Kelly. It sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. Yeah, alright, let's start with Quinn. What is this room? Dr. Kelly. Old x-ray room, lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with special remote control locks. Glad it could finally come in handy. I'm not 100% sure Quinn, it doesn't entirely feel accurate to me that Quinn would ask this, but I want to know the answer. You didn't walk me to the door after my exam earlier. You must have known I might have gone looking for something. Why didn't you make me leave? She sighs. There's something about keeping a secret for so long. It makes you paranoid. It makes you do things you know are objectively wrong just to maintain the illusion of your life. It isolates you. At some point, you just don't want to be alone anymore, whether you realize it or not. So you get sloppy, leave things around you shouldn't, because that destructive little part of you wants to test the limits of how obvious you can be before someone is able to put two and two together. I'm not blind. I can see that things are happening in Scarlet Hollow. Unusual things. I guess, subconsciously, I must have decided if there was ever a time to let someone else in, it would be now. Alright, let's talk Reese. Dr. Kelly. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, I have nothing left to hide. We're gonna actually start off with Quinn. What is he? Dr. Kelly. At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf, but if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him, and you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happens to him or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll just have to remain a mystery. Quinn. When did you find out? Dr. Kelly. A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder, had him checked out at a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared, he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe a hallucination, but the second time it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. I'm gonna go with Quinn. How did he not know what he was? Dr. Kelly. I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before. Maybe 4, depending on what counts. This one is the worst by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. The one thing, look, I understand where Dr. Kelly's coming from. I even sympathize with her, and like I was saying before, I like her quite a lot. I just think she should have tried to talk it through with him. The biggest judgment I have of her is the fact that she kept this a secret from him all this time. She might have been able to frame it as, look, I'm medicating you because, I don't know. She was afraid. I understand why she was afraid, and she was afraid for him, and so, I get it. I do. I just... Mistakes were made. It's not a great situation. Alright, gotta know. Quinn. Was his dad... similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. Dr. Kelly. I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. Okay, also I'm just gonna say here, she seems, even to this day, very certain that they were just dreams, but I'm like, they obviously were not just dreams, or this wouldn't have happened. Dr. Kelly. But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped, and I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. Quinn. How do you know he's dangerous? Dr. Kelly. Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number 1. It's not like he's usually a violent kid. He's mostly just sad, but every now and then we butt heads, and That's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happened anytime he got frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day and turns into a 12-foot tall monster with a million teeth and then rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. I'm gonna go with Quinn. He's been kind to me. Dr. Kelly. Yeah, and Ted Bundy was kind to the people he picked up off the side of the road. Then he slaughtered them. I feel like that's an unfair comparison for her to make, but... like, there's a big difference between kind of a supernatural monster and just an actual murderous sociopath. I know, right, Hannah? Also, hello! But, like, this does, in fact, seem like a big reach. Dr. Kelly. He's a really sweet kid most of the time, but I can't let that overshadow the violence he's capable of. I just... Tapao, that's fair. You have a theory about that car accident? Like, yeah, no, I guess there's always the possibility that there's something she's not admitting to where he actually did hurt somebody. But, you know, not something that I certainly not something I found out when I did this chapter yesterday. Alright. Quinn, why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Dr. Kelly, can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high doses of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it. And I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Quinn. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Dr. Kelly. Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever. No matter what, kids grow up and they change. Sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom, too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. Yeah, nah, I'm like... I have concerns. Like, I super get where she's coming from. I wish that at any point she had tried talking it over with him, working out like, you know, maybe if she talked to him about it, they could have discussed it while he was calm and worked out a plan, something, like, just, I don't know. The fact that she never even thought to tell him about himself is just... That's a life choice she made, and maybe things would be different if she had. Maybe they wouldn't be. Maybe they'd be worse. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I am of the opinion she should have told him. Alright, Quinn. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? Dr. Kelly. You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. Alright, Quinn. What's the game plan? Both short and long term. Dr. Kelly. Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. And we all live happily ever after. Quinn. There has to be some other way. It's just going to make him feel trapped. Dr. Kelly. It sure is, especially since I'll have to isolate him even more now that he knows what's going on. He is going to hate me. But you gotta work with what you've been given, and what I've been given is an ethical dilemma where I either let my son kill me, freeing him to go out and kill others, or imprison him for the rest of his life and force-feed him poison to keep him controllable. Or, the third option, kill him. I've decided which outcome I can live with. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to the safe room. Yeah, Hannah, I mean, no matter what happens here, it's gonna backfire. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to the safe room. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Dr. Kelly. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. So yeah, that's a face. Reese.
Is this what you were so afraid of?
That is hell on my voice. And I mean, also, Reese, buddy, I'm gonna level with you. Yes, it fucking is! Woman, your son is apparently A or the Jersey Devil. Dr. Kelly. Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. Here it is! Yes! At the crucial moment. This is amazingly hilarious, but every chapter there's a trait that I've mentioned this before, but every chapter there's a trait that gets you out of the difficult moral dilemma choice you have to make. And I knew that this time it was hot. And I think it's hilarious that the answer is to be so hot that you can talk him down. And I sure don't want him to be locked up, and I really don't want him to eat his mother, so I'm gonna tame the beast. Because apparently I'm just that hot. Fucking amazing. You step forward and drop your axe. Oh man, these are all good things to say. Revenge only feels good in the moment. Don't become a murderer. She loves you, Reese. Leave now before you do something you regret. Someone has to stop this cycle of violence. Let it be you. She's only doing this to protect herself. Show her you're not a monster. Back down. Or place a calming hand on his face. Those are all options. Some of them feel better than others. And I think maybe I'd like, I know my character would 100% like to believe that some unfortunate shit went down, but everyone here are like, good people and we can work this out if we just talk it out. And also, like, what if everybody just stopped hurting each other? Sounds like extremely Thembo energy, so that's what we're going with. Quinn. Someone has to stop this cycle of violence. Let it be you. Reese. But she's... He stammers, his unnaturally stretched mouth struggling with the words. Dr. Kelly. For God's sake, Quinn, get away from him! He stares up at the woman in the doorway behind you. There's something pained in his expression, beyond the rage he feels for her. Reese's gaze returns to you, sadness in his eyes. Reese.
I'm not a monster.
He takes a step back. And another. And then he's gone. You can hear his thudding footsteps receding down the hall. Then the sound of the front door. Yeah, apparently I'm just so fucking charming that I snapped him out of his murderous rage. I love it because it means that my himbo, at least thus far, can be the heroic... Thembo, can be the heroic bleeding heart that they truly want to be. Dr. Kelly. How the hell did you manage that? There's some good answers here. I didn't care if he ate me. I think that threw him off. That's not my character's answer, though. We have a bond is also like, I like people are nice to me. Quinn. People are nice to me. Dr. Kelly. Okay, sure. If that's your explanation, I'll go with that. But I doubt the rest of the town is going to be as likable as you are. Dr. Kelly carefully makes her way to the entrance of the clinic, checking around corners, and you follow closely behind. He's long gone. The door to the clinic hangs open, the night beyond seemingly empty. Dr. Kelly. I should go after him. He's all keyed up. If I don't do something, he might go after somebody else. Okay, these are many good options. So, I don't want to threaten her. There's no reason to. We've dealt with... I don't think he'll give you a second chance is very true. You don't have to worry about him. Does sound like the idealistic thing that my character would say. Let him leave the nest. It's about time he figured out his own way in the world. Not wrong, but a little dismissive. Let it go, Doc. Give him a chance to be free. Valid. Yeah, we're gonna go with the idealistic. My Thembo has permanent rose-colored glasses, for sure. Quinn. You don't have to worry about him. Dr. Kelly. I doubt that. She sighs. But it's dark. He has better night vision than me. Going after him out there would probably just end poorly for me. I guess I don't have much of a choice. Hope you knew what you were doing. If I'm being honest with myself, it's been a long time coming. I couldn't keep this up forever. Something was bound to break eventually, and I suppose I should be grateful that it didn't end with any of us dead. Yet. Dr. Kelly glances around the clinic, streaked with paint from Reese's minions. He could have made less of a mess of the place, though. I've got to get cleaning. I'd appreciate it if you got the hell out of my house now. You do as the doctor says, walking out the open door into the cool night. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day, crickets singing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. I know, yeah, right, Hannah? Like, leave him be, lady. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the night. Bleh. Okay, sorry, let me try that again. Oh, drink some water. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day, crickets singing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. Everything that happened in the clinic feels almost like a dream, and now that it's over, you realize how little it meshes with your understanding of the world. Time to go home. It's time to go home. You don't get far before you're interrupted by the jingling of dog tags. Gretchen appears at the end of the road, running as fast as her geriatric pug legs can carry her. Oh, hello, Box Puppy. We're at the very end of the chapter, so you just missed me being so hot that I solved the whole problem. For now. I guess more accurately, I averted the immediate crisis. But if you want to check out the VOD, it's there. So now we're at finally finding out perhaps what happened to Stella. Gretchen appears at the end of the road, running as fast as her geriatric pug legs can carry her. Gretchen seems distressed. She whines as she stares up at you from the ground, eyes desperate, anxiously jumping back and forth and darting away when you try to lean down to her. What's that girl? Stella stuck in a well? Yeah, no. Quinn. Gretchen, where's Stella? Gretchen whimpers, then starts trying to drag you towards the woods. Follow Gretchen! You follow Gretchen. She nervously runs ahead of you the whole time, constantly looking back to make sure you're still there as she leads you into the dark woods. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a 2-lane road, lined on one side by sheer rock. And there, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. I'm just gonna say right now, I bet this is where her parents died. Gretchen runs up to her and sits in Stella's lap. Stella. Gretchen, you're back! Don't scare me like that again. Oh, poor Stella. You sit on the log beside her. Stella. Quinn, that ghost really did a number on you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go with this one. It's kind of funny. Quinn. Do I look that bad? I thought I was kind of distinguished. Stella. You look extremely distinguished. I'm just sorry you had to get hurt. Yeah, I'm gonna open with, so Stella is the one I'm flirting with. I did not flirt with Dr. Kelly this round. I know that you have to have this effect. You have to have made certain choices in the previous chapter to have that option, and I am hot enough I could have done it, but I am romancing Stella in this run. I have committed to that. So that's what's happening. Quinn. I really missed you today. Stella. I missed you too. I'm sorry I was gone. I just had to come here. This is where the accident happened. My parents died on this bend in the road. They were taking me to college. I was lying in the back seat. It had just rained and the sun was finally coming out. Oh, poor Stella. Oof. That's real bad. I mean, I knew it was gonna be real bad. Both her parents died, but oof. Oh, this is probably not gonna be pretty. Content warning. I'm assuming. This game has never shied away from showing us things. Oh, this is gonna be where that decapitation warning comes into play. Oh god, yeah. Ooh. Oh, Stella. Stella. Sorry, I know that's probably a bummer to talk about. It was awful. Really messed me up for a while. I think I'm still messed up. There's a whole years of my life after the accident that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. At least it hasn't been like that for a while. Thank God. I've never talked about this stuff before. With anyone. Right, Box Puppy? Oof, no fucking wonder she's traumatized, indeed. Oof. I'm gonna take her hand. You reach out to her, taking her hand. It's warm against the cool night air, and the skin of her knuckles is soft. She finally tears her gaze away from the road, her sad eyes meeting yours. But the hint of a smile creeps up the corners of her mouth, her dimples beginning to crease. Her hand shifts, her calloused palm fitting into yours, her grip tightening. It's strong and comforting. You can tell that she feels held, and so do you. The two of you stare at the road, out at the road. Stella. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I even could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened. And I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again, or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with this because this is what I was thinking. Quinn. They're probably somewhere better than whatever hell Charlie got trapped in. Stella. I hope you're right. I've thought a lot about what might come after. Whether they're somewhere else or if they just stopped existing. I guess we've seen at least some evidence of the afterlife. I hope that means there's a good version, too. Where they're still on that long car ride, listening to Dad's tapes, with a place in the backseat for me when I eventually catch up to them. And then it won't matter that I never got to say goodbye. I'm going to choose to assume that this is meant in a caring, I want to be part of your life way. So I'm going to say this. Quinn. There better be space for me back there, too. Stella laughs. Of course, if that's where you want to be. I'm sure dead me would be happy to share. Hopefully neither of us has to think about that for a long time, though. I'd like to spend some living years with you before then. She straightens up, stretching her neck. Gretchen hops down from her lap, tags jingling in the quiet night air. Stella. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. Oh god, this is actually a difficult decision. Oh no. Should I tell her about Reese? Or does she not need to hear about this tonight? I'm probably gonna go back and, like, stay with her tonight, so I'll be able to tell her in the morning? Maybe? Also, technically, nothing super bad happened to anyone. Oh, this is really a hard choice. You know what? I have played Quinn in the past as not always being, no, better she hears her from me. That's a good point. And I was about to make that call because I think I have definitely made a habit of Quinn not always thinking about sparing people's feelings because it doesn't always occur to them because they're, you know, pure of heart, dumb of ass, and will be like, Stella should know. Wait, before we go... Okay, Quinn. Wait, before we go, I should tell you about what happened today. Stella. Oh? You relay the events of the evening as best you can. Saying it out loud somehow makes it feel less real. Like you're sharing the plot of a horror movie, not something that actually happened to you. Stella. Oh my god! So he's just out there somewhere, all monstery? This is a lot to take in. I've known that guy for pretty much my whole life, and I had no idea. I hope he's okay. You know, I think processing just the one traumatic event is enough for the day. This new one's going right into the void. At least until we get to the end of the week. Let's get out of here. I don't suppose I could ask you to walk me home. Quinn. I'd love nothing more. You offer her your arm. She smiles, slipping hers into the crook of your elbow. She pulls you closer, until the skin of your forearm brushes against her side. Stella. And this is me. Do you want to come in? Tip! Dialogue options marked romance will start a romantic arc with the character you're talking to, and will lock you out of romantic arcs with other characters. Okay. Quinn. I was hoping you'd ask. I'd love to. Yay! Achievement unlocked! Stella ushers you inside, a barely contained grin threatening to split into an excited smile. Stella. Let me just go take a quick shower. I've been sitting outside for a day. I need some soap. It'll just take a minute, then we can get cozy. I don't know where this is gonna go if I say this, but sure. Quinn. Oh man, I would kill for a shower. Stella laughs. Yeah, I'm sure you've built up quite a lot of grime today. It's all yours when I'm done. Okay. It did not jump to sexy shower times. Too soon. She hurries off, leaving you and Gretchen in the living room. Gretchen immediately curls up in her bed, clearly exhausted after a long day of worrying over Stella. I will be dead. But before she has the chance to fall asleep, a heavy knock startles her and you. Gretchen growls. There's someone at the door. I think Quinn wouldn't... I've mentioned before, I don't think Quinn has a concept of not trusting people and is just going to open the door. You summon the bravery to cross the room and open the door. Maybe it's my cousin. Oh, nope, it's not my cousin. Wait.
Quinn, not going home for the night.
He cocks his head, the stained veil over his face fluttering in the slight breeze outside. The outside of his clothes are streaked with what you at first think might be gore, but you quickly realize it's actually paint, and there are wide claw marks down his shirt. But he's still in one piece after his altercation with Reese. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I kind of want to say, dude, get out of here. I'm in the middle of something. It's a little unlike Quinn, and I think they wouldn't say it to anyone else but Wayne, but like... And I think they were a little worried about Wayne, but not like so worried about him. Just like low-key, like, hope everyone's okay. Fuck it, we're doing it. Quinn. Dude, get out of here. I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Wayne.
I'm aware, and I won't stop you. You can have your fun tonight. I just wanted to suggest how you spend your time tomorrow. You should take advantage of Tabitha's absence at the estate. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her around to stop you. Do a little exploring. You might be surprised at what you can find.
He slowly steps back, shining eyes fixed on you as he disappears into the dark night beyond Stella's door. Alright, dude. Go be creepy. Wow, he felt so strongly about getting me to go check out the Forbidden Wings of the Estate that he literally appeared out of nowhere, interrupted my fucking date, and then just went, just want to let you know, bye! Gretchen's growls escalate into barks. Stella. Calm down, Gretchen. Were you just talking to someone, Quinn? Okay, Towel Stella is... Quinn. Wayne stopped by and tried to spook me. Stella. He's still following you? Are you sure we're safe? I like powerful build. Lie. I could take him. Or I could maybe take him. I'm gonna be honest, Quinn. I could maybe take him. Stella. I'm sure you could. I'll feel a lot safer with someone like you next to me all night. If I get scared, I'll just open my eyes and see you right there, and nothing will feel like it can hurt me. Speaking of, I am exhausted. Let's turn in. Guard the house for us, Gretch. Bark if there's trouble. Gretchen snarls, yapping fiercely. Stella. That's right, Gretchen. You're the most vicious little geriatric pug there is. Oh, right, but you said you wanted a shower. Sorry, head's a little fuzzy from staying up for the past day. There's fresh towels in the bathroom, and I've got some extra bathrobes. I can put your clothes through the wash so they'll be extra clean and fresh in the morning. It's probably for the best. I'm not gonna lie, I've probably been re-wearing the same outfit since day one, since I gave all the rest of my clothes to... Wait, did this character give the opossum a nest or not? I don't remember. Well, whatever. Very kind of her to wash my clothes. It somehow feels like the longest and shortest shower you've ever taken. Too tired to think. Too tired to process the flow of time. Stella sits outside the bathroom door and makes quiet and comfortable small talk with you, and then you're done. You dry off and step into one of her extra robes. Stella. So, are you coming in? My character is not asexual. Now, I am enough that I am hoping this doesn't get into any really steamy stuff, but I am like, you go, my character! You go get some lovely quality time with the girl you like. You walk by Stella and into her bedroom. She gently closes the door behind you. Stella. Sorry I didn't clean up beforehand. You can think of it as getting the authentic Stella experience. She slips past you and lies on the bed, dressed in an oversized t-shirt. You're quick to follow. She's warm and still slightly damp from the shower, her skin fresh and flowery. She turns to look at you, smiling, dimples creasing the edges of her mouth. Stella. You could kiss me if you wanted to. The game gave me an option to be asexual. Oh, thank you, game. Oh, that means a lot to me. Now I've literally just stated, and I feel, and I stand by it, that this character is not asexual. Quinn is not asexual. Quinn is very happy being in physically intimate relationships, and is absolutely gonna kiss her. But I'm so happy that option exists. Some of my other characters might opt for that option. Anyway, but Quinn is happy to kiss her. You shift closer to her and close your eyes. The magnetic pull of anticipation rolls down your spine and across your skin, and for a moment that seems to last forever, you take in every detail of the world around you. The forested scent of her eucalyptus shampoo, and beneath it the slightest hint of campfire. The comforting heat of soft but calloused hands against your cheek. The thunder of your hearts beating ever more quickly in unison. The tension rises and rises, a tone seemingly without... Quinn is a Saint Bernard. Sure. Fair. I'm skipping a little bit of this for my own reasons. Then her lips touch yours. They're fresh and minty and soft, cool against yours, and guided by the gentleness of someone looking to hold on to the memory of tonight for a long, long time. And then she pulls you closer, tighter, and you have a lovely night together. Eventually, the two of you break away and open your gaze, gazing at each other from the opposite sides of the pillow. You drift off together, limbs entwined, exhausted and safe and was it comforted or comfortable? One of the two. Tomorrow may bring some new horror, or it might not, but whatever happens, you'll face it together. And this is the end of episode 4! Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development. And thank you everyone for joining me! Oh my gosh, that was episode 4, and there was like a bunch of stuff I didn't get to see yesterday because I was doing a totally different run through. Like I said, on my own, just to make sure I was a little more emotionally prepared, and I'm glad I did, because it made everything a little easier for streaming. I know there's something to be said for like authentic experience of like, here is my authentic experience of first time experience on stream. But for this, this was a little much, and I don't do well with horror, and so I was not quite willing to have my first exposure to it be completely on stream. I needed to work myself up to it. Anyway, so we are gonna go do a raid because, you know, this is a brand new game, and I think it's cool, and people should go see other people play it. And if you've just watched me play Chapter 4, you're probably fine. And funnily enough, a person that I raided before is actually streaming Chapter 4 at this moment, and I think that is a lovely... Oh, I will take a look, Box Puppy, after I have stopped. But yeah, like, I think that I am very much a fan of the idea of raiding this same person, because I liked them before, and they are playing through Chapter 4 for the first time, so no spoilers. And yeah, so we're gonna go raid Hannah P. Lovecraft, who is also playing Scarlet Hollow Chapter 4, which I already said, but just to make sure fully clarified. Raid. Alright, here's the raid thing, and here's the here's that. We're gonna start the raid, and thank you everyone so much for coming to watch me. Thank you Box Puppy, and to Pow and Hannah and anyone else who was lurking. Oh, and Johnny and anyone else who was lurking today, and anyone who watches this later. You're all great, and I appreciate you very much. And let's go!